comes to the Forest half. That's a good ball to Hall on the left wing. To inside, then flicked it to Joelinton, who made a run on the outside. Bruno with it. Players in the box. Curling cross. Header away by Niakate.
Life moves too fast. Precious moments last longer at Centre Parks.
Newcastle free kick. Ball back for the challenge on Bruno.
Figment's definitely helped collaboration across all the disciplines in my team. It's just very intuitive to jump in and start working with me.
Life moves too fast. Precious moments last longer at Centre Parks.
Newcastle free kick. Ball back for the challenge on Bruno.
Figment's definitely helped collaboration across all the disciplines in my team. It's just very intuitive to jump in and start working with me.
Life moves too fast. Precious moments last longer at Centre Parks.
Newcastle free kick. Ball back for the challenge on Bruno.
Figment's definitely helped collaboration across all the disciplines in my team. It's just very intuitive to jump in and start working with me.
Life moves too fast. Precious moments last longer at Centre Parks.
Newcastle free kick. Ball back for the challenge on Bruno.
Figment's definitely helped collaboration across all the disciplines in my team. It's just very intuitive to jump in and start working with me.
Life moves too fast. Precious moments last longer at Centre Parks. At Centre Parks.
Newcastle free kick. Ball back for the challenge on Bruno.
Figment's definitely helped collaboration across all the disciplines in my team. It's just very intuitive to jump in and start
Taking the pressure off his team, he's punched it.
Life moves too fast.
And they got away with it quite a bit in the first half, Nottingham Forest, but they are 3-1 up. The match tipped on its head. And Chris Wood walking away with a match ball. Header down the line, Woods kept it in. Tried to play it forwards for the run of Williams. Share takes a touch. Hall back towards Shaw, it was blocked. Hall's got it to Dubravka now. We're into the 4th minute of the minimum 6. The match tipped on its head. Joelinton onto Hall. Chris Wood just past halfway, walking away with a match ball.
Yeah, Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 3. What a time to play the mags coming up, eh?
Forwards for the run of Williams. Shaw takes a touch. Hall, Trippier, who's been towards Shaw, was blocked. Hall's got it to Dubravka now. We're into the 4th minute or so. Minimum 6. Gordon to Hall. Joelinton on the left corner of the box. Joelinton onto Hall. Chris Wood sends over across. Gordon, big deflection.
Yeah, Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 3. What a time to play the mags coming up, eh?
Away from the goal line, prevented a corner touch. And it's a throw. Trippier, who's been towards Trippier to Bruno. 35 yards out, through a little gap. 10 minutes still going. Bruno. Gordon to Hall. Hall back to Joelinton on the left corner of the box. Joelinton onto Hall. Chris Wood sends over across. Gordon, big deflection.
Yeah, Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 3. What a time to play the mags coming up,
Sends
eh?
it in towards Isak. Away for Williams, heads it away. Goes for a throw to Hall. Hall back to Joelinton on the left corner of the box. Joelinton onto Hall. Isak sends over across. Gordon, big deflection.
Yeah, Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest 3.
Here's Share to Livramento, looking for Wilson. Incredible defending.
Keepers all over the place.
From Joe Worrell. Cleared away from under the crossbar. Isak with a quickly taken corner to Callum Wilson. Lewis Hall back through towards Wilson. On Forest struggling to deal with it, and then Turner lands on the ball after Wilson blocked a clearance. That chance there, Livramento.
Yeah, Newcastle 1, Nottingham Forest.
Here's Share to Livramento, looking for Wilson. Incredible defending.
Keepers all over the place.
From Joe Worrell. Cleared away from under the crossbar. Isak with a quickly taken corner to Callum Wilson. Lewis Hall back through towards Wilson. Turner kicks out of his struggling to deal with it, and then Turner lands on the ball after Wilson blocked a clearance. Just looking at the referee, puts the whistle in his mouth, and until today only Arsenal, Manchester City and Liverpool had beaten Newcastle in the Premier League under Eddie Howe here at St James's Park, but Nottingham Forest, with a hat-trick from the former United striker Chris Wood, have done just that, turning it around. 1-0 down the away side going into first half added on time. They got a leveller, and then 2 goals on the break from Wood for his treble. Put the game beyond Newcastle in the second period, and the team that has the worst record in English football on Boxing Day has another defeat to add to that tally, and it is, Ando, another loss for them, and a run of defeats that is extending in this period that only sees a win at home against the 10 men of Fulham last Saturday. 6 defeats in their last 7 in all competitions, if you count the Chelsea Cup exit on penalties as a defeat rather than the draw. It's a worrying run.
It is, but look, they've been well beaten today as well. You know, there's nothing fluky about.
Hello, Gordon Seymour, mate. Cheers for the team news.
They broke on us, 3 good goals.
So we've got Sunderland, Patterson, Seal, Ballard, 09, Hume, Neil, Ekwar, Roberts, Bellingham, Clark, subs, Bishop and Bennett, Burstall, Mayenda, Rushing, Denver Bars.
When they pinched it, got themselves in advanced positions.
Denver Bars on the bench. Shouldn't even be on the bench.
Newcastle's
High Watts score 3-1, Nottingham Forest. That's mad, isn't it?
Remained.
Late Xmas present, Christmas present. Yeah. Hello, Jacob. Hello, lads. Hope everyone had a good Christmas. Hopefully, we get 3 points today.
It's been really tough this period, and they've missed a chance to go up to 6th again. They could be as low as 9th after all the matches.
Denver Bars
played. When they do have a few days between this one and the next
Bars
game.
on the bench. Shouldn't even be on the bench. High Watts score 3-1, Nottingham Forest.
They don't get any easier. You know, you got the Liverpool.
Late Xmas present.
They've got a cup
tie. Hello, Jacob. Hello, lads.
They got Manchester City. They've got Villa supporters. They don't get any easier. They've got to recover from this one. You know, we spoke before the game, Ray, about how good our home form has been. It's really kept us where we are.
There's people in the chat. If you could give me a thumbs up that you can hear me alright.
Performances in the last 2 games against Luton, and then here today. You know, concede 3 goals at home doesn't happen too often, but Forest deserved it today. They were the better side, I think.
Well, they've moved up a place above Everton. They are now 5th bottom, 5 clear of the relegation places. Defeats by Luton and Nottingham Forest, 2 teams at the bottom, not what you would have expected from Newcastle in the space of just a few days, but it's New Year's Day night for their next match away to Liverpool at Anfield. We'll bring it to you live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Between now and then, there will be Total Sport on the radio for the next 3 nights after this one. So tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, as usual, between 6 and 8, when you can phone in to have your say on Newcastle and Sunderland. And Sunderland's match is coming up next, away to Hull in the Championship, a 3 o'clock kickoff. Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett will have the build-up, and then the full 90 minutes live and exclusive on BBC Radio Newcastle very shortly. Here at St James's Park, they led through a penalty from Alexander Isak on 23 minutes, but Chris Wood in first half added on time, and then in the 53rd and 60th minute for his hat-trick on his return to his former club. And it means the final score is Newcastle United 1, Nottingham Forest 3.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
We are done for 2023. Thank you so much to everybody who has listened and got involved with the show. Joan, what's your issue with the cartoon character Mr. Ben?
A grown man goes into a changing room and he
Hi,
comes
Gordon
out as a
Seymour,
character,
afternoon, been
goes off
preparing
and has
tea
an
for latest
adventure as that character. What a
Jacob,
weirdo.
I don't get why we're not
where
starting
someone
the
nicknamed him Rubik after Rubik's Cube because he reckoned he had a square head that was all mixed up.
Have a good one, and we'll see you in
Hello, Ryan,
2024.
Matt Bailey at
No,
breakfast.
especially when you're
Weekdays
2 or
from
3-0 down,
6,
and then they bring the
BBC
subs
Radio
on.
Newcastle.
It's just ridiculous.
Total Sport Northeast.
The sound of
Sunderland.
As Ahmad plays it back to O'Nien. Oh! Into the penalty area, Pritchard, back to Sirkin. Oh, what a goal! Did it again! Dennis Sirkin, what a goal! Little tap from Roberts through to Ahmad, who shoots. Oh!
Great sport kicks off here.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Happy Christmas from Humberside. Hull City, Sunderland coming up at 3 o'clock. Happy Christmas to you. I hope you've had a lovely Christmas up to now. Hopefully we can make it even better this afternoon with Sunderland getting back to winning ways. They've made 2 changes. Patterson in goal, Sealt comes in for Niall Huggins, and we wish Niall all the best. Hopefully find out later just how serious that injury was at the weekend, but our thoughts are with Niall and fingers crossed. Ballard, O'Nien and Hume, Neil, Ekwa, Roberts, Dak, Clark and Joe. Dak, the latest attempt to try and find a way to score goals, because yet again
Yeah, no,
we've got
scores
3 strikers
times.
on the bench, Pritchard as well.
Dare I say it,
Also
couldn't
good
come
to
at a
see
better
that
time.
Timothy
Well, should I say
Pembele
couldn't
is
get
back
come
in the
at a better
squad.
time, must play Newcastle.
He's on the
but
bench
quite,
this
I mean, we're not
afternoon
much
as
better,
well.
are we?
The bench is Bishop, Pembele, Burstow, Mayenda, Rusin, Barr, Pritchard, Triantis and now Sheesh. We'll hear from Michael Beale, we'll hear from Luke O'Nien, their thoughts post Coventry before 3 o'clock. We'll also talk to Rob Mason, Sunderland's club historian. Hull City make a couple of changes. Matt Ingram in goal. We think it'll be a back 4 of Louis Coyle going across to right back from left back. Then Alfie Jones, Jacob Greaves and Regan Slater comes in for Cyrus Christie. Ingram's in goal because Ryan Allsop picked up a back injury at Bristol City on Friday night. He had been at the first choice this season. Tyler Morton, who's on loan from Liverpool, John Michael Seri, and then a midfield of Liam Delap on loan from Manchester City, Ozan Tufan, Scott Twine, who's on loan from Burnley, and Aaron Connolly, who just did pick up a slight knock at Bristol, but he's fine. He starts for Hull City this afternoon, who are in 6th place, 3 points above Sunderland. Well, we're going to chat to Rob shortly, but Bernard, firstly, your thoughts on yet another starting 11 where they just don't trust any of the strikers.
They don't trust any of the strikers, and sometimes you've got to put yourself in a striker's position, or shall we say mindset. If they can't get in the team ahead of, we just mentioned Barr, ahead of Bellingham, now Dak, you're thinking, well, when will they ever get in the team? And it'll be interesting to see today, are we going to see anything different? Again, you've got to feel for Michael Beale, because he's come into a club or a team where he's got to find a way of scoring goals. He's got to find a way of getting these strikers to score goals. But to do that, you've got to have him on the field. But then he's thinking, how do you fit him in? And the other concern for me, Nick, is, yes, we're looking at youth, young players. But there comes a point where we are at the present moment, going into the festive period where you're going to play four games over a short period of time. And I think one thing which does jump out at you is fatigue. Now, you look at Bellingham, Job, young lad, just turned 18. You know, the amount of games he's played already, you're thinking, as a manager or as a club, you're thinking, well, you need to take him out, let him come and recharge his batteries. And it's not just him. You know, you look at Jack Clark. The amount of things we rely on Jack Clark to do, it comes to a point where if he's not at it today, then you're thinking, well, that's, shall we say, 50% of our game gone. And then, yes, Dan Neil's done well, but you look at him in midfield, he can't do it all on his own. Ekwa was a prime example of that on Saturday, of a player, I don't know what it is or what it was, but he just wasn't at it.
Yeah, I mean, we were discussing this on the way down, the tiredness issue. You forget that Job's only 18, Dan Neil's only 22.
And again, I feel sorry for Huggins. Huggins is a player who's had horrendous injuries. He's done well to get back, but then you're thinking, hold on a minute, are we pushing this player too far? And with that, you've got to look at the old process as that sort of, shall we say, cause the injury as well with that fatigue. Would we have to keep playing him week in, week out, especially when he's been out for that amount of time? But then you're thinking, well, who else? And that's the problem you've got when you've got young players in the team. There's going to be a point where you're going to hit the wall and thinking, whoa, I've got to, you're not okay in Premier League, but the amount of games you are playing in the Championship.
Do you think Dak will play up front like Barr did, or do you think Job will go up front?
I think
today?
Job will go up front and Dak will just be given that 10 role. So again, we're looking at play, but another concern is if anything happens to Dan Ballard, that would be a huge blow.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that the back four at the weekend, they weren't themselves, were they?
No, the team wasn't themselves. We called it early on in the first half. They just weren't at it. They just looked disjointed. I don't know if that's because of what's happened in the week, not just on the field but off the field as well. And it's just caught up with them, and especially some of these players have never played under that sort of, shall we say, atmosphere where all of a sudden you're looking around for that experience, that guidance, and you're looking and you're thinking, where's it come from? You look at Patterson, he's been excellent, but then all of a sudden he's made that, shall we say, what usually he makes it stick. It's bounced off him. We were making, shall we say, schoolboy errors. But then you're thinking, well, who's going to get you out of that? You're looking over to the touchline. The manager does all he can, the coaches do all they can, but also you're looking for the guidance on the pitch. But then you're thinking, who's going to give you the guidance? Who's the experienced player who's going to say, right, this is what you've got to do. This is how you're going to get through this, because I've been through it. I know what it's like. There's nobody.
Well, they have to be at it this afternoon. Hull City looking to get back on track following their defeat on Friday night at Bristol City, and they've got a good home record. They've only lost twice here this season, so they will have to be at the races.
And if you're the manager of Hull City, the first thing you'll be saying, get at them. From the off, get at them, put them under pressure, test them, get in the faces.
Indeed. Oh, happy Christmas, by the way, Benno.
Cheers, Nicholas.
Have you had some Christmas cake? Some of Mrs. Smith's?
Does it sound as though I've had any
cake?
Christmas cake?
Oh, did you miss out?
Well, if I had some Christmas cake, I would have been calmed down now.
Oh, dear.
No, I have indeed, yes.
It was very nice.
Did you have a good Christmas anyway?
Yes, very nice, thank you.
Excellent.
Very nice. Thank you. Rob Mason, Sunderland club historian. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas to you and everyone listening.
Excellent. I hope you've had a good one. Short as it may have been, as we're right back into the thrusts of things here on Boxing Day, Boxing Day tradition, but be mindful, of course, back in the 50s and before, we'd have been playing Christmas Day and Boxing Day, so
yeah, absolutely.
Perhaps, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Well, Gary's talked there about fatiguing players.
Newcastle won.
When you might have played three or four games over 4 or 5 days over Christmas. Often.
Hey, do you know who scored a hat-trick? Their ex-player, Chris Wood.
None at all. So if you were playing the full 90 minutes, and generally, there wouldn't be very many team changes. But it would be the same for both teams. Similarly, at Easter, when you used to play Good Friday, Easter Saturday.
Do you know what? Like, carry on.
Even in the 70s, there would only be one sub. So if you were playing the full 90 minutes. And again, it was largely the same players. There wasn't the amount of rotation we see from teams now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, look.
Just listening to you and Gary there.
Some people say, we couldn't play Newcastle at a better time. Well, I disagree, because we've not exactly been on form either, have we? But the pressure's on them, like, for the FA Cup. I just think it's a 50-50 game on the day, to be honest.
I've got him down as 8, but that's worth checking, because I know he's close to...
We're not going to be disgraced if we lose, put it this way.
Got it down as 9.
I've got him at 7.
Benno's got him at 7. There's a bit of a lottery going on here.
Whether it's 8 or 9, it's definitely not 7. Whether it's 8 or 9, he's certainly getting close to a.
Yes.
I have, Denver Barnes on the bench.
O'Nien's on 8 as well.
Yeah. And I've got my mind obviously on whether he's available for the derby.
Is it Bird's tour?
I'm going to sort of double check that if I can while you're speaking.
Yeah.
One other record, of course, is that at the weekend, Michael Beale's first match in charge.
What are you expecting today?
And it seems that he's got the unenviable record now of having had the worst start of any manager in Sunderland's history. Is that right?
Well, apart from Gus Poyet, who lost his first match 4-0 at Swansea.
Well, there you go. So that's not correct then, is it?
I've seen a lot of people saying it's the worst result ever. To be accurate, Michael Beale's career, there's a couple of other managers I think lost the first game by 3. Gus lost his first game by 4.
Hi Ryan, how are you doing?
Beat Newcastle in his second game, of course.
Derek,
if I remember rightly. But Michael Beale's defeat 3-0 was, I think, the worst start in terms of a home game for a manager. Right. But I looked this up the other night, and of the 40 managers Sunderland have had,
it's difficult. I mean, everybody's got the Parky vibes and Lee Johnsons and stuff. I mean, every Sunderland fan's gone on about the for a reason. I mean, a lot of people say, I mean, Derek in the chat already saying Beale didn't pick his team. It's Speakman who's picking the team. I mean, a lot of fans think that it's Speakman that picks the sides. It can't be Speakman picking this.
At the beginning of the season were my dark horses for at least a playoff place. I thought they were improving towards the end of last season. I think they've done well.
Equar's lost his touch since the injury in the Premier League.
They're one of those group of teams,
so many of our players are out of
like
position.
Sunderland, who are chasing at the moment what looks like chasing 2 playoff places. It looks as if Southampton and Leeds have got places.
Leeds United lost 2-1 away at Preston North End, so they've not had the best of festive periods, really. Good result for Sunderland, though, if we do get 3 points
as
today.
much as you can at this stage of the season to actually go up. But there's a whole host of teams, Sunderland and Hull amongst them, who would try to grab those 5th and 6th places where it's very, very tight. And we are only halfway through the season, so let's hope Sunderland can get back on the horse, as it were, and start going in the right direction again after what's undoubtedly been a difficult couple of weeks for the football club.
Yeah, into the second half of the season now. Preston beat Leeds this afternoon, by the way, 2-1. And you're right, it is 9 yellow cards for Ballard. 1 slipped through the net in my notes, but so he is 1 booking shy of a suspension, and Luke O'Nien's on 8. So a pair of them again, they're both in danger.
So if he gets booked today, I'm talking Ballard, if he gets booked today, he'll miss the Rotherham and Preston games and be available for Newcastle. If he doesn't get booked
Honestly,
today,
absolutely mad these last few days. Like, we have the sister and her kids came over last night.
So it is an important tightrope he's walking over the next
indeed.
week and a half.
I'm lucky after Christmas, I go back to work and it's like,
my son takes a different point of view to me. He thinks, well, I'd rather he missed a cup game than a league game, because we're not going to win the FA Cup, but we do want to, if we missed out on a playoff place by a couple of points, that would be
webcam's done
very, very disappointing. From my point of view, I'd rather he missed a league game and he played against Newcastle. I think he'd be a key player against Newcastle, and I think if we can beat Newcastle at home, that would be a great fill-up and confidence booster for the crowd, for the team, and I think it would have a very positive effect on the forthcoming league games after that. But yes, if Ballard gets booked this afternoon, then he's clear for the Newcastle game in my reckoning. But if he doesn't get booked, he then does walk a tightrope against Rotherham.
Oh, is he getting married again?
With, I think, he'd pick up a 2-match ban for 10 bookings, and that would take into account the Newcastle Cup tie. So let's hope that he manages to avoid that scenario.
No, I want to stay in sync with you.
Indeed. Saturday afternoon didn't put Jude Bellingham off. He's come back to watch more of his brother from Sunderland play. He's here again today.
He's in Hull.
Yeah, that's great.
Sunny Hull.
Sorry there.
Ben was just saying Sunny Hull.
Sunny Hull, well, of course. Let's hope it is.
Funny enough, the referee's called Sonny Gill. The referee's Sonny Gill.
I'm honestly not bothered, mate.
Let's hope it is sunny, at least from our point
of
view.
I can see it, and it's a really good picture.
After the match, because if Sunderland pick up a good result this afternoon, it'll obviously give everybody a lift. And after the disappointing performance and disappointing results against Coventry, on the back of all of the controversy over the arrangements of the Newcastle game and the replacement of Tony Mowbray as the head coach. Certainly everybody needs a bit of a boost, and a good result for Sunderland this afternoon will do that. For what it's worth, I think that Job will play up front this afternoon as well, with Dak just behind him, but of course we won't know until the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game. It's just guesswork until we see how they really line up, but it's a great opportunity for Bradley Dak. He's not had too many opportunities up to now, and again, coming back to what Benno was saying before I came on air, in terms of it being a young side, Bradley Dak does lend them a bit of senior experience, and that's got to be good in terms of the balance of the team. While I'm all for having a lot of young players, I think it's really exciting and really good. 2 or 3 old heads amongst them will do no harm at all, particularly when things are not going well.
Excellent, Rob. We'll have to leave it there. I hope you can go off and have some Christmas cake now and enjoy a Sunderland win in the Star. Thank you very much. And we'll chat with Rob again at the Derby. The Derby game. That will be the next time we chat with Rob. So, yeah, Happy New Year to Rob. Yes, the referee is called Sonny Gill, by the way, today.
Is he?
Yep. Oh, Sonny Singh Gill. The first time we've had
lived up to his name.
Sonny Singh Gill in charge of a Sunderland game this afternoon. Lee Dowd is the 4th official. Look, it's a point well made about the yellow cards, isn't it? I mean, Dan Ballard, he's going to get a suspension. That's inevitable. You're not going to get through the next however many games is not get a suspension. But it would be, and I guess he just got to play his game.
He's just got to play his game, but you're just thinking that it's going to be a huge miss. We talk about Jack Clark, how important he is to the team. I just think, Dan Ballard, carries the same sort of, pressure on him, because I think he's a big part of Sunderland's team. He's a fantastic player.
Indeed. Right, this afternoon's team then, just briefly again, 2 changes. Sealt comes in for Huggins, Dak comes in for Barr. He's on the bench this afternoon. Huggins, of course, injured. Now, Huggins was part of the story at the weekend. It wasn't the greatest start for Michael Beale. After the 3-0 defeat by Coventry City, I spoke with Sunderland's new head coach.
Michael's no dressing up the day, is there? I mean, it's desperately disappointing and probably compounded. Can we first just ask how Niall Huggins is? It didn't look good.
No, we'll have to wait for a scan on it, but our early indications it's not a good one, and the game's really cruel.
Delicious. Anything about it, didn't have any breakfast to start myself, so I could enjoy it.
What we might think, which is a long-term injury.
Absolutely.
The game itself then,
enjoyed the night, just
probably tells its own story.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, because early in the game we had the first big opportunity to score, didn't we? And we don't take it. I thought in the first half we had the majority of the possession, but it's fair to say we were sloppy at times, forcing 1 or 2 things, some sloppy turnovers. Other than the set play where Pato makes a really big save, the first half was petering out, and then a mistake right on the whistle. Obviously, you go in 1-0 down. Our response to that at the start of the second half was actually very good.
It's called empty. It's
but
beautiful.
we create numerous opportunities and don't take them, and ultimately the game can be cruel and we get done. And there was some naivety in our performance today that we need to look at.
I mean, you did say in the week the nub of the problem you've got here is scoring goals, and you just summed up there. You are creating plenty of opportunities. You're not clinical enough.
No, that's for sure. Having 3 or 4 days with a group, that's clear. But we should still not lose a game 3-0 at home here at our home stadium. I'm not going to make any excuses for losing 3-0 at home. I have to apologise to the fans. It's not good enough.
I would say similar to Coventry form-wise.
Today, between the boxes, we played some good football. We got into good areas. We had as many, if not more, chances than Coventry.
I mean, the league table at the minute's not lying, is it? So
that's just not good enough.
You've got a short.
But we're really.
I mean, how much work do
we deserve to be 10th?
Can you do that in a short period of time?
Oh, obviously, most of the work will be through talking and organising the group.
Absolutely, we're just having trouble
resting on 1 or 2
teams on the bottom half of the pitch. Today is the day where we need to put things right, and I want to see a 90-minute performance from Sunderland, because the fans really do need it. They need to pick me up, because if it's the same results, the same performances,
everyone needs to bite down the gum shield, and we need to come out and show a different face. I think if you're a good team, you're not only a good team with the football.
we just want to see some
players asking
questions. We just want to see some good football. And I want the attitude to change from the players today. The last game was like can't be bothered sort of attitude, and it's not good enough.
Yeah, it was interesting having a conversation in there, but obviously we haven't changed too much. We tried to stick with pretty much what we've done the last few games, because you're right, I've come in and I'm the only person coming in, so there wasn't too many changes tactically in terms of the way that we played. And again, I felt, I'm gonna defend the players this week. This week should be about me coming in, not about them. They'll show over time that they'll respond, but certainly in the final third, if you don't show a ruthlessness, then we allowed ourselves to be exposed. And Coventry, I thought, certainly Callum O'Hare, I thought was the main player on the pitch today.
Total Sport North East.
On the station with Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Interesting, those final comments from Michael Beale as he makes the point that he's
only
come in, it's only him.
Do the game
They've changed very little. There's not a lot you can do between Coventry and today's game. So what went wrong? Why did it go so horribly wrong on Saturday?
Well, again, it's
just let us know if you can hear me all right. Mark Quinn says, I assume everybody here seeing the Newcastle
He's coming to a team where he doesn't have, we talked about it, it's possible he doesn't know some of the players' names.
I'm not allowed.
And then all of a sudden he wants to put his stamp on the team, but he only can put his stamp on the team if he's got players in the club or in the team which he's brought to the football club. He's got to work with what he's got. Now, we know that Tony Mowbray's left his stamp on the team the way they played. And that's something which we've spoke about a few times in regards of that's one reason why a striker is struggling to fit into the team, because they've got a way of playing.
At what point, how long do you think it'll be before we see a Michael Beale team?
Well, I don't know what a Michael Beale team's like. We know what a Tony Mowbray's team's like, because they like to get the ball, they like to pass, sometimes maybe overplay at times. Michael Beale might be one of them who wants to get the ball forward as quickly as possible. He might be one of them who wants to play with a big striker, might play a different formation in regards of play with two forwards. Again, that might mean, taking the likes of maybe Roberts out, or telling Roberts or your Clark to get to the byline and put the ball in the box. But to do that, you need people in the box. So, again, he needs to stamp his style on, but to do that, he needs to mostly bring in one or two players off his own, which can be able to do that.
Well, we'll see how this afternoon pans out. We know that they need to have a reaction. They need to do a lot better than at the weekend. And so, as a consequence of that 3-0 defeat, afterwards, I also spoke, as well as to Michael Beale, to Captain Luke O'Nien.
Luke, first in, how's you?
I was as about excited as Dak starting that I was finding out that Beale was our manager.
Should be all right. Listen, I was more gutted for Huggy, who looked like he was in a bit of distress there. So sad to see someone in very good form, and it's gone through a lot of adversity.
Well, you asking, what's your thoughts on Dak starting? But at the minute, I'm as excited as Dak starting and Beale being announced as our head coach.
I mean, it seems to have completely compounded the afternoon, because, as you say, what Niall's been through. This looks, I don't want to tempt fate, but it looks like
everybody's just low on confidence. It is. Everybody's just low on confidence, and he didn't play him really,
in the Championship at the time, the way he's been performing week in, week out. So he's a great guy, and he'll still add value to the change room, even if he's on the sideline. But it'd be a difficult time for him. But it's
I'd rather be coachless.
We get around him and offer him the best support we can as well.
We know a good group. What do you feel went wrong today? It's not through lack of possession, it's not through lack of effort. We can argue that it's again because you've got nobody playing specifically up front. Where did it, do you think, will go wrong?
Probably conceding just before half time. I thought we had if you go into the break 0-0, I think it suits us. When we kept it tight at half time, I think teams start to tie, then we, like we did in the second half, we had a lot of possession, a lot of chances. So maybe a bit of a soccer punch conceding there, got a little bit too tight and they got in behind. A bit of a deflection which didn't quite go away either, into the back of the net. So we've got to take our chances, we've got to tighten up at the back, but I think we got a few things wrong today instead of just one or two. I think we had a few things. So again, like it always, these are the days that you learn the most about the team, and they're going to be the biggest lessons for us. So like always, nothing changes. We do a debrief and we prep for the next game, and we're not far off a bad team at all. We're good. We're 3 points off the playoffs. We've performed well in the last few weeks. We just quite haven't got the results, so we just keep going.
I know you said at the hospital visit you'd had a good week, and Michael Beale has said it's not been any reasons changed much. It's the same team pretty much, bar one player that played at Bristol. So things aren't, we can overreact sometimes to one game.
Yeah, and of course the emotions, it's raw right now, and it's there for me as well. I've just seen my kids, which has kind of helped me just calm down a little bit and to put things into perspective. But it's a difficult time. Got a lot of kids that have been looking forward to this getting ready for Christmas, and we didn't put in a performance that would have best pleased everyone. So difficult for many reasons. Obviously, as professionals, we want to win every single game. I think there's a way to lose as well by your principles. I don't think we quite did that in the best possible way. There were still very good parts in there, and we just got to tighten up in just a few areas. And if you do that, we're not far off a very, very good team.
And Hull coming up on Boxing Day, presumably you'll be travelling on Christmas Day. So again, that's another, I suppose, life of a footballer. You just got to accept it.
I love the Boxing Day game. Travelling, it's part and parcel of it. I know there's many Sunderland fans in this stadium that would love to be in that situation. So so I'll spend time with the kids, and be many of us getting on that bus with a smile, because we're playing for many people, not just ourselves.
Mickey Beale signed 10 very costly players for Rangers, and not one of them are in the first team. So it's not buying players now.
We just need to tighten up a couple of areas.
There's nothing good getting mentioned about Beale at all.
Tomorrow we'll do our homework on Hull. We'll watch a little bit of our game back, and we'll just move forward as a team together like we always do.
Total Sport North East.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
I mean, we can't be that bad, surely. I mean,
Christmas night spent by the team near Scunthorpe.
I don't know.
I'm sure it was. And
2-0
they make two changes. Michael Beale does this afternoon.
I hope I'm wrong,
Patterson in goal.
but we're just stuck in a rut at the moment.
Jensen Silk comes in for the injured Noel Huggins. Dan Ballard, Luke O'Neill, Trey Hume, Dan Neal, Pierre Eckwer, Patrick Roberts, Bradley Dack, Jack Clark and Job up front. The benches: Bishop, Pembele, Burstow, Mayenda, Rusin, Barr, Pritchard, Triantis and now Sheesh. Hull City, Matt Ingram in goal. Louis Coyle will, we believe, go to right back. Alfie Jones, Jacob Greaves and Regan Slater comes in this afternoon. Tyler Morton, who's on loan from Liverpool. Last season he was on loan at Blackburn. John Michael Seri, the Ivory Coast international, signed from Fulham in 2022. And then in midfield, Liam Delap on loan from Manchester City.
On the poll,
47% Preston at the second half of the season after leaving Stoke. Ozan Tufan, the Turkish international in the middle. Scott Twine on loan from Burnley. Some talk here about him possibly moving from Burnley in January for big money. And up front, Aaron Connolly, a 23-year-old signed from Brighton in the summer, who already has got 7 goals this season. What would Sunderland give for a young player like that?
Yeah, definitely so.
He's
a good player.
Welcome
Connolly.
to
but again, the player who did some damage
at
the stadium, like
by the way,
yes.
He was enjoying his football at the stadium. And he's somebody we've got to keep an eye on, and Seri as well, who's in the middle of the park, and we all know about Morton as well. So they've got 1 or 2, and we know that Hull will want to play. They'll want to play from the back, they'll pass the ball, but we've got to make sure we start the game right.
Yeah, remember that game at the Stadium Light, the 4-4, the last gasp equaliser from Hull City to take the 3 points from Sunderland's grasp. As the players line up here, the manager here at Hull City, Liam Rosenior, you knew his father, I know his father well.
Yes, I know his father very, very well, Leroy. And you've got to say he's a well-respected coach, Liam. You've got to remember that he spent a lot of time at Derby County with Wayne Rooney. He's jumped at an opportunity came for him to take over at Hull City, and you've got to say he's done a good job.
Yeah, interim manager at Derby when Wayne Rooney left. He's been here since November the 3rd last year, and as you say, he has done a very good job. They're currently 6th in the Championship as the players peel away and Sunderland take off their red training tops. They're in their yellow this afternoon with the dark blue sleeves. Hull City are in their amber.
Are you optimistic with the fact that your transfer window is now going to be knocking on the door? When does that actually open?
Anthony Patterson is in light blue
this
afternoon.
away,
as the moon rises over the North Sea, we're looking out to the coast across the East Riding of Yorkshire. It's a glorious afternoon. It's a proper winter's afternoon, isn't it? Dry, sunny and crisp. The only thing we're missing is the snow.
Indeed. Can I just give a special mention to my daughter-in-law?
You can.
She wasn't feeling very well yesterday. We was all around for dinner. Unfortunately, she ended up going to hospital, so sending all our best wishes to her, Katrina.
Yes, Katrina, our thoughts are with you. Hopefully everything is on the way up, on the mend. Very much with you this afternoon. A big thank you as well from me to Andrea and the Sunderland Soup Kitchen. What a job that woman does. And what a job she did yesterday as well. Fantastic work. Big thank you to
got beat 3-1 at home
for the money they raised for the Soup Kitchen this year again. It's tremendous. Over 100 people helped out yesterday lunchtime by the Soup Kitchen, so you can see just how important that is to the city. Fantastic, well done. The captains just shaking hands and doing the coin toss in the centre.
This is
slight irony there.
Yeah.
Have they stole this from us?
I think so.
Yeah.
Have you noticed what they're playing before kick-off? Have you noticed the song they're playing before kick-off?
Hull Stadium in unison this afternoon. Hull City are going to get the game underway at this picturesque landscape around us, looking out to sea as Hull push forwards here out wide on the left to Twine on the halfway line. The referee, Sonny Singh Gill, his first time in charge of a Sunderland match. He's in light blue jersey.
Jude Bellingham's in the attendance today
with Alfie Jones and Jacob Greaves. It's played out wide on this left-hand side to Ozan Tufan. The Turk plays it back into the centre of defence to Alfie Jones, and Jones across to his right-hand side to Coyle, back across to Jacob Greaves. Twine looking to make a break down the left. It looks as though it could be a 3 at the back, isn't it?
I don't know, Derek. I don't know.
Hull.
Well, they pushed the full-back
They pushed the full-backs right on,
yeah.
By the looks of things at the minute, with the 3, Coyle, Jones and Greaves at the moment at the back. Out to Tufan again on this left-hand side, but still on the halfway line. Push back here to Jones, Greaves just to his left-hand side, and then he's whipped it down the left wing, trying to get it through to Tufan again with Twine, but a back heel from Twine gives the ball away to Roberts. Jobe in the middle, behind him is Neil. Dak appears to be the more forward of the two between Jobe and him.
Well, it's nice to see that we're back in planet Earth watching the game, like when we were in Bristol City. We were in orbit, weren't we, watching the match
this afternoon. Ball picked up on halfway again by Greaves. Equa slides in, but the ball is won back now by Hull. Back to Slater, and Slater
back good,
forced to play it back through John Serry, eventually to Greaves. Back again to Alfie Jones, and Jones gets it back again from John Serry out to Greaves on the left, looking for the run of Twine. Sealt's trying to keep an eye on him. He's got in front of Scott Twine down the left edge of the Sunderland penalty area. He turns and gets the ball inside to Dan Neil, passes it back to Patterson, takes it from his left foot onto his right and clears it straight to Regan Slater. He leaves it for Serry, and Serry, being closed down by Dak, plays it back to Jacob Greaves on the centre spot. It's Jones, Alfie Jones.
Who's saying that?
And he lifts it over the top through the middle here, and just a little bit of a heavy touch.
Oh, is it Jacob who's getting
taking it through from Tyler Morton, the midfielder, the 21-year-old load on from Liverpool. Tried to drop it over his shoulder and burst through, but it just span away from him. Hartlepool 1, Oldham 0.
Oh, I know. That's it. I'm finished with Sunderland. That's it. I'm never supporting these ever again. I'm
Slater trying to head it on. Equa nods it down to his right to Sealt. And then it's played back into the path of Hull. And we're again with Jacob Reeves looking to build from the back. His father Mark was a former Hull and York City defender, born locally, come through the academy here. Jacob Reeves.
I must admit, the pitch looks bad, doesn't it?
It does look bare. I mean, they're not playing rugby league on it at the minute, but it's clearly suffering, I think, like Sunderland does, because it doesn't have open corners. The air can't circulate through it, can it? Still the barest of markers you can see from the rugby league, gradually disappearing through the winter months before the rugby league starts up again. Jacob Reeves plays it back to the goalkeeper. Matt Ingram, 30-year-old, all in pink, pushes the ball out, swings it out wide on the right-hand side, and it's picked up. Well, it's knocked out away from Liam Delap. It's a free kick for a foul on Coyle. Just back inside the Hull City half on the right-hand side. 4 minutes played, Hull City 0, Sunderland 0, here live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Free kick's taken, comes back across the back three, he's played down the touchline to Twine, who puts it out. Not quite sure what put him off then.
Yeah, anybody new who's just joined in the channel, results from earlier: Millwall 2, QPR 0, and Preston in 2, Leeds United 1. So another bad result for Sunderland. Leeds getting beat
nods it back to Patterson. Sunderland fans away to our left as we look down from the back of the main stand.
Looking at the pitch,
points to Sunderland's third.
What you call it's lively.
Yeah. Wasn't being watered beforehand.
No. Yeah, well, 34 because of the current results at the moment.
Played back to the Hull keeper, Matt Ingram. Sunderland attacking from left to right as we look down from the back of the main stand across to the coast. And the Sunderland fans over in the corner on that far side. As a Sunderland free kick. Dak takes
Afternoon, Alan. How are you doing? Hope you've had a good Christmas, pal.
To Dan Neil in the centre circle, and he's got Hull players all around him. Plays it behind it to Equa, lays it off to Dan Ballard, and Ballard, who we remind you is on 9 yellow cards. Equa through here to Clark. Clark's got Hume ahead of him to his left. Clark still going into the penalty area, blocked by Coyle. It's a corner to Sunderland. Coyle's hurt.
Yeah, and again, we come to life, don't we? Then the ball's at Jack Clark's feet.
Yeah. Made a burst. He's hurt as well. I think the two went ankle to ankle in that tackle, which led to the corner. Dak's going to take the corner away on the left-hand side. As the Sunderland fans, you can hear over in the corner, what would be the north-east corner here at the MKM Stadium, as it's now known. The ball short from the corner, it's come back out to Dan Neil, and then back down into the corner to Jack Clark. Away to our right, just trying to come in around Connolly, plays it back to Dan Neil. Neil swings it into the penalty area, looking for Joe, but it's headed over by Greaves. It's a lovely ball in.
Excellent.
Joe was in the right place.
Good defending.
But as you say, yeah, good defending. Greaves doing what he's paid to do. 7th minute, Dak comes across to this near side to take this second Sunderland corner. Short again to Roberts on the right side of the penalty area. Pulls it back to Dan Neil, looks up, drives this in off the head of a defender. I think it was Morton. Headed away by Seri, out into midfield. O'Nien heads it back here. And Hume was trying to get on the end of it. Job will trace across and manages to get it away from Tufan, but back to Tyler Morton, who's got his socks rolled down around his ankles. The 21-year-old Liverpudlian played down the right wing, looking to get Liam Delap away.
Are we placing bets on how long Beale will last? I'll give until New Year.
Rolled over off the shoulder of Dan Neil for a free kick to Hull, which they take quickly, but Ballard heads it away from Connolly, who crept in behind him at the edge of the penalty area, and Neil again now laying the ball.
I do think the owners would be more than happy and more than content to stay in this division for another season. I really honestly do.
Out to Sealt on this right-hand side, and he will play it back to Ballard, and across to Luke O'Nien in the 8th minute. In the middle of the Sunderland half, out wide left to Hume, back into Luke O'Nien, and he drives this wide, looking for the run of Roberts. It's a good ball. Roberts takes it down beautifully with his left foot, untackled by Slater to drive the ball out for a throw. Hartlepool 1, Oldham 1. And the throw taken by Sealt. Bit of a heavy touch from Ekwa, and then Tufan shoulder barges Sealt down to win the ball back for Hull. Gets it inside to Sterry, back to Slater.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
We are done for 2023. Thank you so much to everybody who has listened and got involved with the show. Joan, what's your issue with the cartoon to Mr. Ben?
I used to work with someone nicknamed him Rubik after Rubik's Cube because I reckon he had a square head and it was all mixed up.
Have a good one and we'll see you in 2024.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Weekdays from 6. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Apologies for that interruption. It's 0-0 still in the 9th minute, and Hull on the ball still at the back in their own half. It's with Alfie Jones. Coyle just to his right, Louis Coyle, the club captain, back into the centre to Jones, to Coyle again on that right-hand side, just inside the Hull half, and back again to Matt Ingram, who's come outside his penalty area, and he will lay it off on this left-hand side to Regan Slater, who's replaced Cyrus Christie in the side this afternoon. Christie's on the bench. Back to Jacob Greaves. In the middle now, Alfie Jones, across on the right to Louis Coyle, back to Jones. They're patient, aren't they, in building up from the back? They don't in no hurry, as they just tap it around amongst the three of them. More than happy to try and draw Sunderland out, and then suddenly the ball played through to Twine. Sealt can't get the ball off him. An advantage played by the referee. Connolly will shoot from outside the box a long way out, but Patterson's gone down and made the save comfortably enough down to his left. As the moon rises, disappearing half of it in the clouds above, as the afternoon will turn to darkness. Patterson kicks up onto the head of Slater, comes back through here to Connolly. He's offside, and it's a free kick to Sunderland. We may intermittently drop out this afternoon, such is the way of things here, but I think it shouldn't be longer than a second or two if we do so apologies if that does happen. It's new systems, new technology,
the new way forward.
Yes, Ekwa back to O'Nien, across to Ballard. Connolly on his shoulder. Ballard twists away from him, plays it back across to O'Nien here, and O'Nien now to Ekwa, and back to O'Nien, forwards to Neil across to Ballard again on the left hand side. He's got Clark out wide on the touchline on halfway into the Hull half, looking for the run of Trey Hume, but it's been cut out by Coyle. He plays it out eventually for a throw to Sunderland, halfway inside the Hull City half. Liam Rosenior with his scarf tied around his neck, his overcoat, hands in his pocket, strides back into the dugout. Ball's come back to Ballard and Neil inside the Sunderland half, down the poor pass in the end. It's gone out for a throw to Hull on the far side. 12th minute, 0-0, Hull City 0, Sunderland 0.
I think it's, you're looking at the way the game's shaping up. You've got to concentrate for the whole 90 minutes. And again, I keep mentioning about the pitch. It's quite lively, bouncing. It's not being watered.
And a break here down the left. It's played behind Twine by Slater for a throw to Sunderland on the right. Quickly taken. O'Nien back to Patterson. As I was saying earlier, their home form's good. 5 wins, 4 draws. They've lost us twice here this season. The last of those defeats was by Watford. Away comes Neil, out to the left now. Clark running at the edge of the penalty area behind Cole, squaring it for Job.
Twine looking at the last thing that went up last season, Alan.
Gets it out now to
Tufan.
Tufan trying to get past O'Nien, is clipped by him.
Just keep focusing on we're going to
and it's a free kick Twine's furious.
Things are going to go down.
Tufan
That would
still
be disastrous.
lying on
it's
the
not a bad thing
grass.
at the moment, still, where we are.
No. O'Nine's just walked away from it.
No, he's just the way he's beating the floor. Come on.
Tufan.
Look.
Sits up.
There's nothing wrong with him.
Ozan Tufan gets to his feet. Referee's having a word with him.
And now he's saying he's having a word with the referee to get him booked. It's contact sport, man.
No, you wouldn't know it these days. Here's Greaves sweeping it forwards down the left here for Tufan, who seems to be fine to run and sprint in round the back of Luke O'Nien. Gets a rate from him, gets the ball to Twine on the left. He tries to get it past Ekwa, who's blocked it. It'll be picked up here by Sealt, and Sealt just lays it off behind him to Ekwa again, forwards to Roberts, back to O'Nien, right side of the penalty area, drives it up looking for Job in the centre circle. Watching on is his brother again. He's caught Job, but the referee, he's given the free kick. Morton caught him.
Waved advantage.
Dessis has played the advantage. Played on. And it's with Clark. Trying to find Roberts. The assistant is sprinting to keep up with Roberts. Gets in line with him. He's in the penalty area now. Roberts dribbling in here, still going. He's blocked by two defenders. Put in by Sealt towards the far post. It's headed down to Dak. But on the volley, just leaning too far backwards, scoops it up effectively onto the roof of the net.
Yeah, and Bellingham's just having a word, and he was caught there.
I think the referee early door has been trying to keep things going, hasn't he? 15th minute, live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Hull City 0, Sunderland 0. Reminder, Total Sport is on this week. Back tomorrow, 6 o'clock, and what day of the week is it today? It's Tuesday, isn't it?
All day.
Back on what?
All day.
All day, good. It's still Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Of course, Friday night we've got full commentary of Rotherham against Sunderland as Clark makes a run into the penalty area again, pulls it back for Dak, back to goal. Dan Neal's shot blocked by Morton right in front of him. Trying to get it back is Clark. Up against him, Liam Delap. Delap gets the ball away though. It's onto the head of Dan Ballard, virtually on halfway. Heads it down and out eventually to Hume on the left, who's looking to put it back over the top for Job. Headed away by Greaves, comes to Dak in the penalty area. He taps it out to the left to Jack Clark. Clark now trying to weave his way in. He's tackled, the ball falls here to Delap, and he just knocks it away. It's going to be picked up by Sealt, who has to jog back for this, almost onto the halfway line, and just plays it back to Ballard, through to Ekwa. Through again to Job. Job being closed down by Twine, holds him off, manages to stretch and find Ekwa. Hartlepool 1, Oldham 2. And now here's Clark, corner of the penalty area, trying to come past. Coyle couldn't get the ball in. It's been blocked by Morton, gets it out to Delap. And Delap now trying to cut inside. Gets away from Hume, gets away from Ekwa, gets away from Hume again in the centre circle, but finally is fouled by Ekwa.
Nicholas, come on. Them challenges, what we've just put in there, the schoolboy challenges, he skipped past 3-4 of us.
It was with ease, wasn't it?
Too easy.
Much too easy. Southampton 1, Swansea 0. Free kicks taken just short back to Jones, across to Greaves. Crowd were loving it, of course, crowd pleasing. Cardiff 0, Plymouth 1. On the halfway line, here's Coyle. Coyle now just strolling forwards with it, and then trying to play it to Morton and out to Delap on the right wing. Halfway inside the Sunderland half, he's trying to cut back in again here, finds Seri on the right side of central midfield, who's driven it across towards Twine here on the left touchline, and the 24-year-old taps it back to Greaves, and Greaves forwards to Twine again. Greaves looking for the run, if he can get it through to Slater, but it's turned away and out by Ekwa. Throw to Hull. 18th minute, 0-0. Twine takes it, gets it back from Slater, in towards Tufan, comes back for Slater, who taps it back to Greaves, and Michael Beale is just hands in pockets, then waves his arm at his players to push on. Sheffield United 0, Luton Town 1. Here's Twine back to Greaves, and into the middle, Jones again, the three at the back, just in the Hull half at the moment, wide to Delap, and Delap halfway inside the Sunderland half, taking on Clark, trying to get round him. Clark pushes it out. It's a throw 10 yards from the corner in front of the Sunderland fans to Hull City, who next Friday night play here against Blackburn Rovers. Throw taken to Morton from Coyle. Oh, he's just turned and lost his man, and it's cleared by Ballard from the corner of the 6-yard box. The cross, far too easy, and Hume has to intercept and carry this out again for Sunderland up to the halfway line. An over-ambitious pass for Bradley Dack. It's a throw to Hull deep in their half. 19th minute, 0-0. This throw halfway inside their own half for Hull. Louis Coyle will take it. Born in Hull, Louis Coyle, but began his career with Leeds United. Signed then in 2020 from Fleetwood. A foul on Connolly on halfway. Free kick to Hull. It comes back through Jones to Greaves. Greaves just trying to find Tufan, headed away by O'Nien to Sealt. Inside is Ekwa lifting it into the Hull half. Roberts down this right-hand side. Dack, sorry, not it's Dack. Roberts just behind him, but the ball into the edge of the box for Jobe is cleared, and it's out for a throw to Sunderland on the right. It's come down to O'Nien in his own half, back into the middle to Ballard. Ballard forwards to Neil. Neil back to Ballard, to Neil again. Neil out wide on the left-hand side to Hume. Hume plays it along the halfway line to Ekwa. Ekwa, Jobe urging him to get the ball on. Forwards Dack to Ekwa. Ekwa then plays it behind him, right side of the centre circle. O'Nien drives the pass low out to Roberts. Roberts drifting infield, finds a great ball in for Jobe. Jobe now trying to get in the penalty area on the right, surrounded by Hull defenders, and twists and managed to open up some space for Roberts. Lucky. Roberts just a little bit of a heavy touch, and Twine's able to get the ball away. Comes up to Tufan, and Tufan now trying to weave away from Ekwa out wide here in front of his manager. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, and eventually Tufan overruns it, takes it out for a throw to Sunderland, which O'Nien takes back to Ekwa. Through to Neil. Neil now gets through past 2 or 3 defenders, gets the ball out on the right to Roberts, and Roberts now back into the penalty area for Neil, trying to square it into the centre, headed away straight here to Jobe. Jobe's shot blocked though on the penalty spot by Jones, and then in comes Hume, smashes it over the top from a little way out.
And you know, the amount of times we get round that 18-yard box and we're looking to pull it back, and it just doesn't happen.
Get a goal. I'm hoping he can take his chance. Absolutely.
Somehow we just get it stuck underneath our feet. We can't get a shot away. We can't pick that final pass out.
That, as Michael Beale said at the weekend, ruthlessness.
Yeah. We've got to be ruthless in there.
Ruthless enough.
That 18-yard box.
We're in the 22nd minute. Hull City 0, Sunderland 0. Passing it out again from the back to Slater. Back to Jones, through the middle. Seri gives the ball away under pressure from Jobe. He gets it out to Roberts. Roberts here in the penalty area again, trying to get to the edge of the 6-yard box. Crosses it, comes off Dack, bounces away from Jobe. Morton's brought it down and cleared it, only as far as Dan Neil. He's laid it off to Hume on the left-hand side, and back here to Ballard, just inside the Hull half. Sunderland in their yellow this afternoon, and here's Sealt on the right, on the halfway line. Back to Luke O'Nien, and across to Ballard, just short of the halfway line. Inside to Dan Neil, a couple of yards, and back to Ballard. Ballard now down the touchline, taken on by Jack Clark here. The run being made by Hume. Clark into the penalty area. He's trying a shot, comes off the back of the defender onto the roof of the net.
Through the season
corner
and
to
having
Sunderland.
a discussion about settling for this.
Third corner.
Keep the faith. No, absolutely.
Matt
I
Ingram
got to take the playoffs all day long. I think the Sunderland fans.
This from the right.
Just a little bit of low on confidence
at
the minute with the last two
previous two corners have been taken short.
Not the exciting announcement
of
this one in? And lack of strikers, and
Bradley
I just
Dack.
think that's what's hovering around the Sunderland fans at the
on
minute.
this right-hand side. Both arms raised. He drives this one in this time, and it's headed goalwards by Luke O'Nien, headed by Sealt, sorry, headed away by Jones. Comes back to the edge of the penalty area. Morton heads it out to Connolly. Connolly on the break, Tufan's
Did you
away
say
on
you'd
his
be happy with a
left-hand
point
side as
before
well.
that, Ant?
Neil's gone with him to try and stop him, and Tufan still trying to cut in past Dan Neil, who's got a foot on it for a moment, but Tufan manages to turn it inside to Morton. Morton edge of the penalty area, drifts in past Sealt on his left foot and then onto his right foot on the goal line. It's tipped away by Patterson and hooked away by Hume for a throw on the far side.
Well done, good touch by Patterson in the end, wasn't it?
Needed it. A swift counter-attack from Hull City. Tufan was the maestro, if you like, but then Morton showed great skill and adeptness to get the ball back across the face of the 6-yard box, but it's gone out for this throw, which drops to Delap, and it's gone out again for another throw off Jack Clark, down by the corner on the right-hand side.
We've just got to see what he does at Sunderland and just try and blank out the past and what he's done. It matters what he does now. Do you know what I mean?
Drops to Morton, back to Coyle, stabbed away though on the far side by Neil. Foul, free kick to Sunderland.
I mean, look how bad,
foul on,
you know,
picks himself up quickly.
David Moyes was with Sunderland.
Jogs away up towards the halfway line. There's Ballard now at the back, at the edge of his own penalty area. 25th minute, goalless still, and back it comes to Ballard. Here to Anthony Patterson, passing it to Ballard. Ballard back to Patterson, passing it to O'Nien, closed down by Twine. O'Nien then good pass out to Sealt on the right wing. He's looking for the run of Jobe through the middle, but it's not a great ball forwards. Straight to the goalkeeper at the edge of the Hull penalty area. Rolls it to Greaves. Jones forwards to Seri. Seri, Greaves, Jones, Slater. Just passing it in this little square in the Hull half, then tap back to the goalkeeper, Matt Ingram. Pushing it out to Jones, then to Coyle, back to Jones. And this is in the middle of the Hull half, live on BBC Radio Newcastle, the 26th minute now. Greaves again, back into the middle to Jones, and Jones will look up for the run of Delap, trying to find him on the right wing, brings it down in front of Hume, works a little bit of space now, takes Hume on, gets the ball back here behind Connolly though, and cleared by Sealt.
Definitely settle for mid-table. Lots more.
The warning signs are there. If
when
Hull
cannot get some wins
when they
together,
get that ball down the flanks, they can certainly work it through.
They do.
Andrew, Merry Christmas, mate. I agree with everything you say, but Sunderland
it's played
should be
by
doing
Clark
better
through the middle, out to Roberts on the right corner of the Hull penalty area. Roberts trying to find.
Doing better than what we are.
Well, initially Clark drops though for Jobe. He's got Coyle in front of him, trying to tee up Clark. Clark has to play it to Sealt. Too many Hull defenders in front of them at the moment. Ekwa to Sealt, down to Roberts on the right here. Roberts again has to play it back to Ekwa in midfield, and then back to Ballard. Fleetwood 0, Carlisle 1. Here's
that's what I mean, left, right, passing, it's alright, but
on this
notice how none of the Hull players are coming forward at us because we're not going
anywhere. Behind the ball for Hull City.
This is what we'll keep doing.
And then O'Nien squares it to
and then we're going left, right,
Ballard,
back,
laying it off on the left to Hume. Hume to Clark, down the touchline, Clark back to Hume. 0-0 still, it's played back to Neil.
Which is
Neil inside, just the Hull half, in the middle is Ekwa. Ekwa trying to get it out here to Dak. Clark wide of him. Dak plays it to Clark down the left of the penalty area, trying to take on Coyle, trying to get past the defender, but he can't at the moment, having to twist one way, then the other, then pull it back here to Hume. Huddersfield 1, Blackburn 0. And here now, O'Nien coming down the right again with Roberts and out to
down
Sealt.
At the last minute,
Sealt plays it back to Roberts, right side of midfield, back out wide to Sealt, looking for a back heel now from O'Nien to Sealt, flicks it into the penalty area looking for Jobe, passed out though by Greaves to Twine, to Connolly, battles in the middle with Dan Neil. Neil's got the ball back to Sunderland, trying to get it back again here. Neil just tapping it to Jobe, is at the back of the penalty area. Seri was on his shoulder, it comes to Roberts to shoot, took a deflection, but it's the deflection that leads to a goal kick.
Yeah, we look nice and neat round that 18-yard box, Nick, but we cannot
get in there.
Can't get the shot away.
Watford 0, Bristol City 1, 28th minutes here. Hull City 0, Sunderland 0. The centre-backs flank the goalkeeper, they pass it amongst themselves again as they build again steadily from the back, walking it out effectively here into midfield. Jones back to Greaves. Liam Rosenior's marching up and down the edge of his technical area as it comes back to Greaves, inside to Jones, back to Greaves, back to the goalkeeper, and out again here to Greaves. Liam Rosenior played 5 years here, made 161 appearances. The former fullback between 2010 and 2015. There's Greaves again at the back with Jones, who's just driven this straight through the middle right up to Patterson. He catches it, rolls it out to O'Nien here. O'Nien back to Patterson. Patterson playing it out to O'Nien again on this right-hand side. O'Nien bringing it down the right wing. 2 fans stuck with him for the moment. O'Nien plays it back into the middle to Ballard. Ballard just outside the penalty area taking this on. He's got Neil to his right, but he's played it through to Hume ahead of him and out to Clark on the left wing. But Dax made a run forwards, but blocked, tackled Clark by Louis Coyle. Coyle inside to Morton. He plays it back to the goalkeeper, the edge of his area. Half an hour nearly played. Hull 0, Sunderland 0. Greaves with it again here for Hull City. Plays it in the middle to Jones. Jones to Coyle. Back to Jones. Jones just walking it up to the centre circle. Plays it
needs
left
some life
again.
in the game, doesn't it?
It does. It needs a spark somewhere. It's
who's injured?
A predictable pattern, isn't it, from Hull?
It is.
As Coyle nearly lost it in front of Clark, but he gets it out to Delap, halfway inside the Sunderland half. He swings it into the middle. It's cut out by Equa. Drops for Sealed. Cardiff 1, Plymouth 1, and Dak plays it back to Patterson from midfield. Passed out to O'Nien on the right-hand side here, trying to shake off Tufan. Plays it over into the middle to Dan Neal, back to Ballard. Ballard bringing it out and looking to play it left now to Hume. Hume back to Ballard. Just pause for a moment, Ballard, and he will then play it through the middle, looking for Job on the edge of the centre circle. Greaves all over him, but Job gets it, or tried to get it out to Clark. Cut out by Coyle, and now Coyle wins a throw off. Job on halfway, on the right-hand side, goalless. Back it comes from the throw to Alfie Jones.
Pedestrian, isn't it?
It is pedestrian, yeah, that's the good word for it. And it's pedestrian until suddenly Hull put a long forward pass through, looking for someone to sprint onto it, but Sunderland at the moment seem to have the measure of that, and they're keeping it back up towards the halfway line and back in the Hull half. Greaves into Jones. Again, this is just behind the centre circle for Hull, and they're in no hurry to get it forwards. Greaves again gets it to Tufan on halfway, back to Greaves. Liam Rosenior showing more energy than the whole team combined at the moment, down on the touchline. Finally to Delap, brings it down in front of Hume again, but tackled by Neal. It's loose for the moment, but Ballard's going to pass this out to Equa. He's under pressure from Seri, he's fouled by the Ivorian, and it's a free kick to Sunderland, and it's taken by Luke O'Nien.
He looked offside.
And Roberts it is who brings it down on the right, and he's onside according to the assistant. He's taking on Slater into the penalty area, but Slater tackles him, comes away with the ball here, and drives this up through the middle. Cut out by Dan Neal to Luke O'Nien, across to Hume in the centre circle, forwards to Job. Gateshead 0, York 1, and here's Hume bringing this on, driving on now, giving it away to Seri as he tried to burst through. Seri to his left to Twine in his own half. Back he's played it to Slater, and Regan Slater former Sheffield United midfielder, actually, rather than
Pritchard
defender.
for Dak.
He's playing
ASAP, please.
as a sort of defensive midfielder this afternoon, alongside John Serry. Back to Jones. Again, this
Rusty Mackham says, how you doing,
just pass
fella?
it amongst the three of them, Coyle, Jones and Greaves.
Again,
all
the ball,
look at the explosive run of
Delap
down the right wing. Hume's gone with him. Delap's got the ball in the corner here, can't quite keep it in. Knocks it out for a throw to Sunderland, which Hume will take.
Belly for this squad? I think we've got more turkey in the belly than fire at the minute.
Delap jogs back along the touchline and on to the pitch. Hume finds Neil, back to Hume to try and find Job, who tries to turn it with his back forwards for Clark's run, but it's going to be turned back by Greaves to the goalkeeper. Passed out here to Jones, who twists away from Dak, gets it out to Coyle. Coyle brings it up towards the halfway line on the right touchline. It's Delap now just ahead of him. Back to Coyle, just inside the Sunderland half. And he suddenly puts his head down, then just lays it off to his right to Delap again. And Delap, son of Rory Delap, of course, plays it back to Serry, back here to Greaves, and out to Twine on the left-hand side. And he's put it in the penalty area, and it's let to drop over his shoulder by Dan Ballard. Patterson must have made the call and gathers the ball. 35th minute. Hull City 0, Sunderland 0. O'Nien tapping it to Sealt. Fleetwood 1, Carlisle 1. Down at the bottom of League 1. Morton in the middle, tackled by Dan Neal. Wouldn't quite run for Dak. Played back by Jones to the goalkeeper.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Closed down by Dak. He passes it out to Serry. He lays it off on the left here to Greaves. And Liam Rosenior's going berserk again down in the technical area, yelling at someone in the middle. And the ball back to the goalkeeper again and plays out to Alfie Jones. The 26-year-old bringing it up through the middle.
I don't miss him, to be honest with you.
Pausing for the moment, then tapping it to Coyle. Back to Jones, across to Greaves. Greaves down the left to Tufan. Tufan, Roberts goes with him. Tufan checks, looks up, looking for the run of Morton through the middle, but straight through the penalty area and out behind for goal kick. 0-0, 36th minute.
It's not very exciting, is it?
No.
Come on, City, says Leon. Welcome to the chat, Leon, mate.
It's
Hope
very
you've had a good Crimbo on that.
Methodical, isn't
Next
it?
all fans are welcome in as long as you're
grab hold of the
respectful.
game, don't you? That's what you're looking for.
Here's Patterson just driving the ball up to the halfway line. Drops to Regan Slater. Plays it into the middle to Serry. 45 caps for the Ivory Coast. Edge of the centre circle forwards to Scott Twine. Eventually back with Greaves. Greaves to Jones in the centre circle.
Jones back to Greaves.
Yes, yeah, it's
Greaves
almost
back to Jones. It'll go.
It's out to Tufan eventually, but cut out by Roberts as he tried to get it inside to Twine. Back to O'Nien. Back to Patterson. Lifts it in the air with a kick with his right foot up towards halfway and bounces and just stays in front of Liam Rosenior. And Slater plays it back to Greaves. Greaves back to the goalkeeper. Norwich are down to 10 men against West Bromwich Albion, and Matt Ingram kicks, looking for Delap. Drops over both him and Hume. Throw to Sunderland on the far side in their own half, halfway inside the Sunderland half on the left. And Neil back to Hume. Hume back again to Ballard. Ballard. Ekwa's in the middle, just ahead of him, but Ballard just sizing up and playing it across to O'Nien here on the right-hand side, then down the touchline to Roberts just inside the Hull half, back to O'Nien. Ekwa back to O'Nien into the middle to Ballard, bringing it up to the halfway line, taking it on and playing it through, looking for Job on the shoulder of Greaves. He's got away from him for the moment and finds Clark out on the left-hand side. Clark dribbling corner of the penalty area. Crosses here into the goalkeeper's hands. Ballard had made the run all the way through. It's played out to Serry, and then the ball out, cut out by Sealt in front of Tufan to Clark. Clark.
I remember when we drew against you 4-4, it was a good game.
Jones,
we sold out on
to
tickets,
Delap,
so I couldn't be in there watching the whole now.
Neil,
I'm in the bar
plays it
watching
forwards, looking for the run of Morton, but Ekwa's got across the face of him.
Well, he's playing well. He's been playing well these last few games.
Morton with the ball, Pierre Ekwa through here to Dak, who was pushed over, but no foul. Eck was still going, trying to turn and open up a bit of space. Rolling it into Jobe in the penalty area now. Coyle's in front of him. Jobe on his right, back on his right instep to just pass it to Clark for the cross. Headed out
we lost
by
3-2 on that
Greaves, and down goes Roberts. Well, Sealt goes down, picks himself up quickly, glanced at the referee, gets no foul, and Slater's going to bring this out for Hull. Back to the back three. And again, they start to pass it amongst themselves. 39th minute.
Back to Jones.
Yeah. Here they are, the three of them, the three amigos. Yep. Just passing the ball amongst them, and then Coyle looking for the run of Morton this time. But it's come down off the shoulder of Hume. Hume gets it forwards to Neil.
Have we actually bothered that?
Jobe.
Is either team actually bothered any
Clark wide on the left, Roberts on the right. Jobe still going. Jobe still dribbling. He's going to shoot. Comes up off the boot of Jones. Out to Sealt. Tried to head it on down the left here. Twine's got it though. Sealt puts a foot in. Seri's going to pick up the loose ball. Plays it to Slater. Back to Greaves. And then across here to Jones. Jones bringing the ball out.
Even
playing it back to the goalkeeper.
Hear it rumbling.
They're getting frustrated, aren't they? Yeah.
They're frustrated because it's too slow for Hull.
Yeah.
And you're just thinking, Sunderland, if they up the tempo, I think they can get something out of the game.
Yeah. In the 40th minute, 0-0. Clark goes to put pressure on Jones. Jones turns it away though, back to Coyle. Jobe's in front of him, gets it down the right to Delap. Delap on halfway wide, flicks it onto Morton. Morton back to Seri. He plays it square to Greaves on halfway, out wide left to Twine, back to Greaves. Greaves trying to find Slater in the middle of the Sunderland half, drives it across to Delap on the right. Delap's got to come past Hume, cuts inside. Hume tackles him.
This
Good
is where
tackle
we can break on him.
Clark rolling it out here on the right here to Roberts. Roberts over the halfway line. I think it's Dak still down in the middle in the centre circle. Roberts trying to find a way through. Dak still down. Roberts trying to find Clark on the right here down in the penalty area.
Scored 2 goals.
Rolls out
got
of
to
the
stay
box. Dak still down. Clark
Thomas said
back,
stick.
and Clark taps the ball out.
Sheesh on, I think, hopefully better second
Dak's
half.
going to need treatment
Tom Wallace,
here.
Jude Bellingham there again today. I know he probably just
stayed
back for
down.
Christmas, but Real Madrid
He's
don't
lying on
play
his side at the moment in
the
centre circle.
Will get signed for Real Madrid and go back with him.
Well, I just think we just need to press further up the field, Nick, and just put a little bit of pressure on them and stop them allowing them just to pass the ball, get 4 or 5 passes along the back. Let's press them, ask questions.
It's probably him just having an excuse to say, yeah, I
those
can't
three
be
are on the ball. They're
bothered,
happy just to let them play it.
Yeah.
Get me back to the pub, please.
Dak still receiving treatment. Players start to congregate down on the touchlines around the technical areas, having a drink, a few instructions being passed on. Dak still lying, getting treatment in the centre circle. Jensen Sealt's talking to the referee, Sonny Singel. Dak having his left leg manipulated by the look of things, as all the players now, bar Jack Clark, down on the touchline. And I wonder if there's going to be a change. There's a lot of muttering and movement down below here.
Nothing
sure
happening,
this is
guys.
Great for Dak. He's sitting up now. Just sitting hunched in the centre circle. Bradley Dak, head down. It's fourth officials come out with the board.
I wonder if you see Rawson or somebody like that come put a striker on.
It's good. I think they are going to make a change. I don't think Dak's going to continue, is he?
He's not having any luck, is he?
No, not having any luck at all, Bradley Dak.
Are we going to see a Mayenda or Rawson? Which one?
Pritchard's not
seemingly
Pritchard's
there as well now.
Pritchard came back and sort of shrugged his shoulders then at Michael Proctor as he went back into the dugout, but it's got advertising all across the top of the dugout, so you can't see through underneath what is transpiring here. But Dak's back up on his feet, and he's walking slowly off the pitch. Fourth official, Lee Doughted, glancing back into the Sunderland dugout. There's something happening down there. There's some change of foot.
I think it might be Pritchard.
And Luke O'Nien just comes and puts an arm around Dak. Let's see.
Ashish?
It's going to be Ashish, yeah. Ashish is the man chosen. And Dak is replaced. A couple of minutes before the break. A disappointed Dak. Alex Pritchard goes to him, arm round his shoulder, having a word, patting his chest. Alex Pritchard, as Dak heads off down the tunnel. So an enforced change, Dak injured, Ashish on now. Pritchard again, obviously sitting there thinking...
Looked a bit dodgy.
Are we back to where we were?
Pritchard and the other 3 forwards.
Yeah. Kick from Hull back to Sunderland.
I don't think Dak
Clark
could be missed
play the
off.
ball out so that Dak could receive treatment. It's Ballard from O'Nien, and he plays it back to Patterson. Patterson just at the edge of his area. 44th minute, but we're going to get a few minutes now, obviously, added on following that injury to Dak. O'Nien trying to bring the ball out, and this is where we always have to say, look, they've got to concentrate now these last few minutes of the half. As Roberts chases a ball out to the touchline, manages to keep it in. Now Sheesh runs onto it, but he can't keep it in. It's Bournemouth 1, Fulham 0. Greaves plays it back to Matt Ingram, the goalkeeper.
To be honest with you,
the edge
Gary
of the
Bennett's had nothing to
penalty
say
area.
about, so I'm going to go for
Fourth
0.1
comes
today
out,
so
having a word
far.
with Michael Beale.
4 minutes.
4
On
minutes.
the Gary Bennett sciometer.
Coyle back to Jones. Job in front of him. He plays it back to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper now back out to Alfie Jones. Jones to Coyle again. Coyle on the right, back to Alfie Jones in this predictable pattern of play from Hull. Greaves forwards to Tufan, trying to get it to Twine. Silt slips in, gets the ball to Roberts. A call for a Sunderland throw, but it comes off for a Hull throw. 3 minutes. So we're into the 3 minutes being added on at the end of the first half. It's goalless, but a long ball played forwards for Delap to chase. Hume just taking no chances, hooking it away into touch with his right foot from inside the penalty area on the right hand side. Goalless, quick throw from Morton to Coyle. Coyle back to Morton.
Benno's only speaking to
just
still
trying
hit
to
him.
get
Gary
Coyle.
Bennett's
It's
so
knocked out
negative
by Clark for another Hull throw, which Louis Coyle will take. And the black and amber stripes of Hull City, and Morton's making some movement down into the corner. Clark's gone with him at the moment, and eventually it's out for another throw to Hull, almost on the corner. Left for Coyle this one, and Morton jogs into the penalty area. It's dropped short to Delap. Clark is behind him. Delap gets the ball into the penalty area, and it's cleared only into the path of Greaves.
We just need to be switched on because we've got quite a habit at the moment.
Greaves down the left of the box.
The ball
in the box, he pulls it back to
Seri,
just outside the area, looking for Delap. A cut out by Job, whipped across the face of him, trying to get away down the touchline, but forced out in the end. It's a throw to Hull, which they take quickly. Watford 0, Bristol City 2. Here's Slater in the centre circle, and he's pushing on through the middle, trying to get the ball through to Connolly, stabbed away by Ballard, comes out to Ashish in the middle. He's fouled. Free kick to Sunderland in the middle of their own half, and we played nearly 2 minutes of the minimum 3. The ball just rolling back to Luke O'Nien. I've written nothing down in this half.
There's not much to write about, is there, really?
Isn't it, really? Yeah. O'Nien with the free kick out wide. It's going to be headed away by Slater. Silt lets it bounce out for the throw on halfway, on the right-hand side, into the last minute. Finally, Silt manages to dig the ball out from underneath the stretcher and all its gear, and takes the throw back to O'Nien.
I think they get the biggest cheer, and I'm
predicting a draw.
Will.
Is Jude watching Bellingham? Is Jude Bellingham watching? He certainly is.
Greaves back to the goalkeeper, Matt Ingram, just outside his 6-yard box. He
And
plays
his
it
dad's
out
apparently.
to the edge of the
Yeah,
area
absolutely.
to Jones. Jones back to Greaves. Seconds left of the minimum 3 as it's played down the left and hooked away by O'Nien. And Roberts trying to head it inside. Seri picks it up for Hull to Morton, looking for the run here of Liam Delap, trying to get around Hume, who gets in front of him, gets a touch, can't keep it in, he's gone out for a throw at the corner. We're into the 4th minute being added on here. Interesting to see whether they actually even get to take it. Even if they do, how long it will stay in play before the referee blows for half-time. The assistant saying, come on down, the throw should be down in the corner. And Hull then on the right, taking their time with taking the throw. Surely he's going to blow. Going to take a long throw now, Coyle, into the penalty area. Hangs there for a moment, headed out by Ballard. I think that'll be it. That's it. Half-time. The two sides go in, goalless.
Well, that's
and there's really
half-time.
not much to write home about from the first 45 minutes.
No, it's not been very good. I would imagine that Michael Beale will be saying to Sunderland just to step up a little bit, to put pressure on, press further up the field. You know, they've got it fairly easy at the back, where they've been able to string 4 or 5 passes together. And you know what the outlet is. You know, they're trying to get Delap into the game. But besides that, when we get the ball, can we get more men in the box? Can we do a little, pick somebody out, especially around that 18-yard box when it comes back? But overall, you're just thinking, it's not the best exciting game, is there? There's nothing what you could say Sunderland have done, you know, caused them a problem.
It's not a thriller, is it?
You're right. It's not a thriller.
This is not a Christmas
but
thriller.
But there again, Nick, it's a game which you're thinking Sunderland can go and win.
Yes,
it's a game you can win.
Undoubtedly do. I mean, the times they make in the same old story, getting to the edge of the penalty area, then suddenly there's too many bodies in front of them in the box and they can't get that final ball. They're not ruthless enough. So the second half to come on the BBC Radio Newcastle and SAFC.com at the break here on Humberside as the night sky turns into darker blue. It's Hull City 0, Sunderland 0.
In the box, aren't we?
Winter.
Very wet and windy weather.
With biting winds and icy roads. When a drive to work can last for hours.
There's one car that is totally buried.
So pretty horrendous.
And snowmen come out to play. But you can only find one glove.
The rain will clear and we'll have drier but colder conditions.
Just muting the commentary now because the adverts are on. Yeah. Yeah, I've got some socials here. A few guys are ready for them. ZZZZZZ says Ashley. Jem Robinson says, sounds like another one we're going to get caught out if they don't get a centre forward in Jan. One of these things where they'll just get a lucky break, 1-0 Hull. It's getting harder and harder to watch us play at the moment. Very, very frustrating. Time for change. Dak off, as obviously, but it's time to get Pritchard on. And it's pretty sort of run-of-the-mill stuff as half-time commentaries, to be honest. Half-time comments to be said of basically that was such the most boring 45 minutes I've seen. Been watching carpet balls on Discovery Shed. Yeah, that's it. There's no to report on, is there? There's nothing happened. Wait a minute, that's Jeffrey Dahmer, isn't it? The steward? Isn't that Jeffrey Dahmer, the serial killer? Is he back? Yes. Someone will know who Jeffrey Dahmer is on the chat.
Murray Wallace. In the 3 o'clock games in the Championship then, Cardiff City won, Plymouth Argyle won at the break.
Who's been the better side, said Helpful Viper? I would just say Sunderland, but maybe just smidge it by 0.5% as of possession with the ball. I don't know, but you really can't really choose it, to be honest with you.
With their goal. Rotherham United 0, Middlesbrough 0. Rotherham, of course, the place that Sunderland go next Friday night. Southampton lead Swansea by a goal to 0. Joe Aribo after 17 minutes. Bristol City are 2-0 up at Watford. Cameron Pring and then a Wesley Hoot own goal on the stroke of half-time. It's goalless between West Bromwich Albion and Norwich City, but Norwich went down to 10 men after just half an hour. Borja Sainz given 2 yellow cards. There's a 5:15 game in the Championship today, which is Birmingham against Stoke, and then a cracker at 7:40.
I'm just going for a toilet break. 2 seconds, guys.
Total Sport North East.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into League One then, the early game saw Leyton Orient beat Charlton.
Back in 2 ticks.
Omar Beckles was the winner 10 minutes from the end. In the 3 o'clock games, it's Bristol Rovers 0, Portsmouth 0, but Burton Albion are leading Blackpool by 1 goal to 0. Bobby Kamwa after 10 minutes. Cheltenham Town, bottom of the table, are leading Shrewsbury by a goal to 0 as well. George Lloyd 10 minutes before half-time. Exeter City 0, Wycombe Wanderers 0, but Fleetwood Town 1, Carlisle United 1. Owen Moxon giving Carlisle the lead midway through the first half. Jaden Stockley equalised for Fleetwood. 8 minutes later, there is a debut this afternoon for the Carlisle United goalkeeper Gabe Breeze. Lincoln City 0, Bolton Wanderers 0 at half-time. Cambridge United are 1-0 up at Oxford United in the varsity derby. Jordan Cousins after half an hour. Peterborough United lead Reading 1-0. Josh Knight 5 minutes before half-time. Barnsley are now 3-0 up at Port Vale. John McAtee scoring twice in the space of 5 minutes. They were the second and third goals. Adam Phillips had scored the first. Stevenage are 2-0 up on Northampton. Jamie Reid really early on, and then Jordan Roberts 3 minutes before half-time. And Derby County lead 1-0 away at Wigan Athletic. Curtis Nelson with the goal.
Total Sport North East.
On the station with Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into League Two then, there was a lunchtime game there as well, which saw Mansfield beat Grimsby 2-0. Davis Keeler-Dunn and George Maris in the first half, and it finished 2-0. Crawley also won 2-0 away at Gillingham. Will Wright in the first half, Jack Rolls in the second. In the 3 o'clock games then in League 2, AFC Wimbledon 0, Sutton United 0. Barrow were 2-1 up on Stockport County. They were 2-0 up until the last minute of the first half. Ben Whitfield and Cian Spence with their goals, but Nick Powell getting one back for the leaders Stockport. Morecambe 2-0 up away at Bradford City. James Connolly and JJ McKiernan. No goals between Harrogate and Accrington Stanley, nor between MK Dons and Colchester United. Green Rovers are 2-0 up at Newport County. Ryan Delaney and Matthew Stevens, Ryan Delaney own goal I should say, and Matthew Stevens. Notts County 2-0 up on Doncaster Rovers. Dan Crowley and Macaulay Langstaff, formerly of Gateshead and Newcastle. So Notts County 2-0 up on Doncaster. Tranmere Rovers 2-0 up away at Salford City. Harvey Saunders and Kieran Morris. Wrexham lead 1-0 away at Swindon. James McLean, former Sunderland winger, with Wrexham's goal. And Walsall are 1-0 up on Crewe Alexandra. Freddie Draper the goal scorer there.
Total Sport
North East. Get the latest team news, score updates and post-match reaction on Twitter at BBC Newcastle.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Into North we go then, and we start in the National League.
Anyway, I better go because I'm doing my stream and stuff. But don't worry, there's still loads of missiles on the way.
Dixon can bring us up to speed at half-time.
Not good news, Colin. It's York 1, and it's been an incredible first half. Gateshead had the ball for 90% of the first half, but just cannot really get in to get into the York defence. I mean, it took 30 minutes before any team had a real shot on goal, and then on 32 minutes it was York that went ahead. It was on the break down the left-hand side, and Scott Burgess found captain Ryan Fallowfield, who drilled the ball from the angle lower into the corner of the net. A terrific finish. And then Gateshead then did have their first shot. Kyron Lofthouse.
I'm happy with the first half. Yes, it's been scrappy.
And then shot
but
on
it's been
target.
okay so
the
far
York
for me.
keeper
Well, yeah, I mean,
without to make a great save. And just before half time, York nearly went further ahead. ex-Gateshead player Paddy McLaughlin in on goal, but his shot hit the side netting. 500 fans from York thought it was a goal, but it wasn't. The half-time score, Gateshead 0, York 1.
Important.
He was hoping for better in the second half. Paul, thank you very much indeed. In National League North, Blythe Spartans are 3-0 up at South Shields. Nicky Devereux after 11 minutes. Curtis Main after 15. Finn Cousin-Dawson after 35. In National League North, South Shields 0, Blythe Spartans 3 at half-time. A reminder that when they reverse that fixture and they play each other at Croft Park on Saturday, we will be there with live commentary, and by we, I mean
wasn't
myself
a sitter, was it? No.
Paul Dixon. In the Northern Premier League Premier Division then at half-time, it's Morpeth 0, Whitby 0, but Whitby down to 10 men. Junior Mondal sent off 10 minutes before half-time, so Morpeth hoping to capitalise in the second. In the East Division, 3 North East derbies this afternoon. Hebburn are 2-0 down at Ashington. Wilson knee shot and Connor Thompson inside the first 20 minutes. Then Dean Briggs was sent off for Hebburn as well, so they are 2 goals and a man down at the break. Dunstan, though, are 2-1 up at home to Newton Aycliffe. They had been 1-0 down, but Jack Maskell and David Robinson in the last 7 or 8 minutes of the first half, giving them a 2-1 lead at the break. Concert in the early kick-off lost in the end 3-2 at the leaders of the league, Stockton Town. That's despite being 2-1 up. But when I say 2-1 up, they were 2-1 up after 11 minutes. Will Shaw after 6 minutes. Ben Ramsey after 11. They'd already conceded in the opening 60 seconds. It was then 2 each at half-time. Stockton scored midway through the second half. And that is how it finished. Stockton 3, Concert 2. In the Scottish Lowland League, in 3 o'clock kick-off, Berwick Rangers drawing 0-0 at Gallifrey Dean at half-time. We will have a local football roundup as usual at 5:45.
On BBC iPlayer.
I was in the Australian Outback, searching for answers.
Paul Hutchison says, we look solid,
what it's like to wake up and realise there's no idea where you've been. I'm back in Ireland. Places should be full of happy memories.
Some things are best left buried.
What did I do?
Wherever he is, I think that he's in trouble.
We will find your man, okay? There's something that I want, something I've been looking for. Home is where the hurt is.
Maybe it's time you find out who you really are.
The new series of The Tourist. Watch all episodes from New Year's Day on BBC iPlayer.
I would say, yeah, it's almost like
very shortly, but in our first commentary game at Newcastle United were beaten 3-1 at home by Nottingham Forest. Chris Wood hat-trick. That's now 6 defeats in 7 games for Newcastle United. Here is their head coach, Eddie Howe.
Yeah, big disappointment for us here. Home form has been very strong. Today was always going to be a difficult game. First half was a lot of good, but we dominated the game. But Nottingham Forest were always a threat in the match, and yeah, we didn't defend certain situations well enough. And then, yeah, probably the finishing touches to what promised to be a really good afternoon for us were missing, and that always meant I think Nottingham Forest were in the match, as I said, and we weren't good enough in that phase of our play. As soon as we went 1-0 up, you're thinking the second goal in this game is going to be hugely important. Of course, we wanted that to be for us, but our decision making, as I said, and our technical quality probably wasn't what it can be. And then second half was sort of more of the same from our perspective. A lot of promise, a lot of good positions, but lacking in actual product. Well, I think the games we have coming up, we have to look in a positive way. They're great games for us. We're certainly going to need to perform better than we have done, especially in our last 2 matches. But I back us to do so.
Eddie, the players that were at Newcastle when you arrived have been through this kind of run with the club before. The new players probably less so because you didn't really have this last season. How are they all in the dressing room?
Disappointed. I think they pride themselves on consistency and ability to win games even when maybe not at our best level. We haven't been able to do that, especially in our recent run. It's been hugely frustrating for them, for us, for everybody. And today would fall into that category where we weren't at our best, but we could have won that game in a different day. But as part of our journey, I suppose, to become a better team, you have to go through different phases and deal with different things, and then it's a strength of character how you do that.
You've already talked about the way that you conceded the goals. There must not be to your liking, because there were 3 counter-attacks, weren't they? The first 2 were almost in for a second, and then the other 2...
2 XL sizes of the away strip, because I really do like that top.
I mean, difficult because I'm
just waiting for that to
properly.
Right. Yeah, the fluorescent yellow.
The first goal seems a strange one for me, for us, because as you say,
we're the miles better fluorescent yellow one.
But then we can't leave ourselves that vulnerable and open as we did. So we certainly need to look at why. And then, as I say, try and get the work into the players. And I think the beauty of the period we have coming up now is we're actually able to train. We haven't been training with the players that have been playing for a long, long period of time. And eventually, I think that may affect your performance. I'm not looking for excuses, but it may affect your performance, so it'd be good to get back on the grass.
Oh, you've just touched on it there. Is the best thing about this week, the fact that you've got
they like to
6 days
in the
until your next match.
It probably is, yeah, because I think, as I said, we need to work on some things and make sure the team looks better.
That is Eddie Howe, the Newcastle United head coach there. Newcastle's next 4 games: Liverpool away, Sunderland away in the FA Cup, Manchester City at home.
Yes, Leon, just let us know if that commentary's any better, mate, but it is half time.
Came from last to
There's
first,
not much
late on to a very dramatic King George VI chase.
Is Newcastle playing today, so what's the score, please?
That was a long way behind and then came through right at the very end as Bravesman's game and Allaho looked like they were battling it out, but Hewitt came through to win the King George VI chase at Kempton. We are hoping for a better second half than the first one we got at the MKM Stadium. Hull 0, Sunderland 0 at half-time. Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett back in just a moment.
Total Sport North East.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Welcome back to Hull. The substitutes just going through warm-ups. I was just watching Barr and Mayenda and Pembele down on the side of the pit. Barr was just sat on the advertising hoarding like Tony Mowbray used to do. I'm totally disinterested. And then Pembele came out and they knocked a ball amongst them. They were having more of a chat, I think, than they are playing any sort of football in the warming up at the break. But here comes Sunderland for the second half. A reminder that Ashish has replaced Dak a couple of minutes before the end of the first period. Dak went off injured. So it's Patterson in goal, Sealt, Ballard, 09 and Hume, Neil, Ekwa, Roberts, Ashish, Clark and Jobe. The bench, Bishop, Pembele, Burstow, Mayendo, Rusin, Barr, Pritchard and
yeah, I've just muted the commentary for a second because Dua Lipa's song's playing in the background and not kicked off yet, second half. And YouTube doesn't like that for copyright reasons.
When we get round the 18-yard route, like you've just mentioned before, it's about being ruthless, and we're not ruthless enough. You know, everything's got to be spot on, it's got to be nice and neat, not somebody, you know, play the ball back and coming onto it and, you know, pulling the trigger.
So it'll be interesting to see if both coaches have said the same to their teams. Liam Rosini.
Why do we even have Barr? He is
I want to see
absolutely
more
horrible.
pace, I want to see more athleticism from you. And Michael Beale, I want to see more ruthlessness.
Exactly. Well, it's like, yes, Christmas Day yesterday.
There is a bit of an air of that, isn't there?
You know, we've got a game today, Boxing Day. Let's just go out and just get through it. There's no urgency. There's no like willing to win the game.
Well, Sunderland are going to get the second half underway. They're in their yellow this afternoon. They're attacking from right to left this second half as we look out to sea. We're underway, and referee Sonny St-Gill in his blue jersey, Hull in shirts and a black on the back, but the front are black and amber stripes, black shorts, black socks, as Luke O'Nien sweeps the ball back into the Hull half, down to the edge of the Hull penalty area, looking for Clark, but Louis Coyle heads it back to goalkeeper Matt Ingram, in for the injured Ryan Alsop this afternoon, who's out with a back injury. Here we go, Hull passing amongst the three at the back, Greaves, Jones and Coyle, the same routine. Coyle now looking to run a Morton, the loanee from Liverpool, but Ballard's got in front of him, and on the touchline finds Hume just ahead of him. Inside of him is Dan Neal, but he's robbed of the ball by Morton, who finds Seri, who chips the ball into the box. It drops on the far side of the 6-yard box. Connolly plays it straight at Patterson. He should have scored. Connolly will know himself. That was almost as good as taking a penalty kick.
Yeah,
the ball was almost on the penalty spot, but he just played it straight at Patterson.
It's like a pass back, but again, Dan Neal is the luckiest man.
Isn't he just? Lost the ball.
And what they'll do as well, I think they'll try to play the ball forward quicker.
Yes. I think that was what they did that last passing. Got it to Coyle and straight away down the wing. It's out for a throw. to Hull on the far side, on the left. The attendance 24,420 this afternoon. That's not far shy of capacity. Here's Seri, and that's largely down to segregation. And the ball headed back here towards Patterson by O'Nien.
You won't believe what you've just done.
What?
Say it again.
Yeah.
It was who?
It was not far.
Seri.
Seri, yes. Oh, is your phone?
gone off again because you said Seri.
I said Seri. We did this happen last season,
last
didn't
time,
it?
I know.
Every
Sorry,
time
it's
we
one of
said
these
Seri,
games where
I
you
was doing a search.
Not watch it for 10 minutes and just like...
Cardiff 2, Plymouth 1 in
Not
the
miss
Championship. Neil putting a ball over the top for Sheesh to chase, but out comes Matt Ingram back up to the halfway line. Southampton 2, Swansea 0. Equa through to Sheesh, out wide to Roberts on the right-hand side now as he takes on Slater. Still going, Roberts into the penalty area. Still going and gets a ball into the 6-yard box.
That is a great
behind
ball
by Jones. Lovely ball in, but too far ahead of Clark and Job.
Look where he's cleared it from. It's what, 2 yards from his own line.
Yeah. Could have gone anywhere, that clearance. Watford 1, Bristol City 2.
Nobody's gambled.
No, they didn't. They hung back, thinking it was going to be pulled back by Roberts. It's Bristol City leading 3-1 now. Here's the corner from the right-hand side, whipped in by Sheesh. Dropped underneath the feet of Hume. He just got a little bit caught up with it.
Yeah, goes from the corner straight
Hull able to get the ball clear. Patterson comes out for it. Played out to O'Nien on this left-hand side, forwards to Clark. And Clark looking for Job here on the left-hand side. Now back out to Clark on the left-hand side. Cutting in round Coyle into the penalty area. Pushed out by Morton. Clark then finds Job trying to dig it out from underneath his feet. Comes back to Neil. Neil to O'Nien. And O'Nien to Neil again on this left-hand side. Neil to Job. Job back out to Neil on the left. Inside,
yeah, with just nothing
Hume.
in that centre bit on the 18-yard area. Nothing at all.
They win the ball back. Tufan coming away with this. Then he's tackled by Sheesh. Tufan goes down. Sheesh picks himself up off the top of him. Job on this left-hand side finds Clark. Clark down the left side of the penalty area, gets round Coyle, and Seri. Has your phone gone?
No, it's not gone.
Has managed to get in front of Clark and shepherd the ball behind for a goal kick to Hull City. In the 50th minute now, it's still 0-0. But Connolly should have put Hull in front. Liam Rosenior having a word with Liam Delap down here on the right-hand side. The ball with Jones. Job went to close him down. To Greaves, back to Jones. And Jones, they are getting it quicker out to Delap now.
Getting runners forward, look.
Looking for Connolly in the middle. Flag up. He's offside, the 23-year-old. Quickly from Equa to Sheesh. Looking for the run of Roberts. Runs onto this on the far side. Ball just kept in. He's taking on Slater. Slater gets a touch to it. A roll away down towards the goal line. He keeps it in. Plays
Thanks
it out.
for the 3
looking for Twine,
there.
but it's gone out. Twine took it out. And it's a throw.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
To Sunderland. Sealt. Jens Sealt into the injured Noel Huggins takes the throw. Back it comes to O'Nien. Down the line to Sealt again. Back into Ballard on halfway. Forwards to Equa. There's a little bit more pace about the game at the start of the second half. West Brom 1, 10-man Norwich 0. Here's Hume on the left, and he will play it back across to O'Nien. This is inside the Sunderland half, as O'Nien now leaves it, finds Sealt. No, it's not the greatest of passes, looking for Job, cut out easily by Greaves, and then Slater forwards to Morton, back to Greaves. Jones closed down by Clark and trying to win it back as Sheesh. The pressure on Seri brings its benefit because it's won back by Neil. Now Sheesh trying to dribble through, trying to push it through to Job. It could break for Sheesh.
How's that a free kick, referee?
Managed to take it away from Sheesh.
Back
to Ingram to clear. And now Tufan wrestling with O'Nien on the halfway line for the ball. Connolly is knocked down by Neil. Free kick quickly taken by Connolly. Out wide to Delap on this right-hand side. And now Delap taking it down the right side of the penalty area into the goal line, pulling it back, looking for...
This is one of these games, isn't it? Well, 1-2 takes a lead.
At the edge of the 6-yard box, but it's cleared by Sunderland.
Coyle has it back again. To see that?
Delap's tackled by Hume. Throw to Hull. on the right, 52nd minute, drops to Seri, swings in the cross, looking for Connolly, headed away by O'Nien. Roberts trying to hook it out, but it's won back by Hull, and then Roberts managed to knock it away from Slater, but Greaves cuts across, and he will play it back from the left wing to the goalkeeper in the middle of the Hull half, who plays it to Jones, Alfie Jones, inside to John Michael Seri, plays it back to Jones, and then
Cheers, Daz. Hope you've had a good Christmas as well, mate.
Connolly or Tufan.
It's
Tufan who tries to win it. Sealt gets it clear. There's a foul on O'Nien by Tufan. It's a free kick wide of the, just outside the penalty area, wide on the right. Michael Beale standing, hands in his pockets, alongside Michael Proctor at the edge of the technical area. 53rd minute.
Wouldn't be a bad result, 0-0, would it? What do you guys think on the chat, on our channels? It would 0-0, but would you be happy with that?
Just at the edge of the penalty area. Harrogate 0, Accrington Stanley 1. Here's the kick from Patterson, headed away by Greaves. A chase back here for O'Nien and Ballard. O'Nien gets there, back to Patterson, hooked in the air. Sheesh looking for it, but Greaves heads it on, hooked away by Sealt. Greaves gives the ball away, does he? No, it's won by Slater, the header out to the wing. Seri in the middle, it's a block by Ekwa, break for Jobe. Jobe now, he's got players ahead of him, Aushish and Ekwa. Ekwa lets it run through to Aushish, who pulls it back to Ekwa. It's bobbled up in front of him. There's a call for handball from the Sunderland fans over in the corner, but no appeal from Ekwa, or indeed any other Sunderland player. And it's now back with Ballard, out to Hume on this left-hand side. Inside the Hull half, back to Neil, and back to O'Nien, wide to Sealt, inside to Roberts, back to O'Nien, forwards again to Roberts, just on halfway, and he taps it on to Aushish. Aushish, back to Roberts, Roberts inside to Ekwa. Ekwa just right of the centre circle, through the middle to Dan Neil. Neil out wide now to Clark, corner of the penalty area, dribbling in, and he plays it off Coyle behind for a corner. I think he gambled on that one. I think, he knew that might have been the end result. So corner on the left for Sunderland in the 55th
Russian on
minute.
Mayenda on. I said it would be a draw. Can you remember? You did, Derek. Russian on Mayenda, yeah.
Take it short to Clark. Clark. Back here to Dan Neil on the left, and then to Aushish to cross.
Good ball.
It hangs in the air, it's headed out only as far as O'Nien. Takes it on the half volley, just lobs it back into Coyle to clear. Drops to Ekwa. Ekwa trying to dig it out, trying to put it back in is Hume, but it's won by Hull. They're on the counter-attack here. Tufan with Twine. He's heading on down the left, he's still going to the edge of the penalty area. Twists, turns, and then gets a shot away. In fact, it was to lap, but straight at the goalkeeper. He drifted out to the left, carried on.
Yeah, I sort of know Decker.
His shot finally just lacked any sort of power. But the warning sign again, we know about that danger. 0-0 still, 56th minute.
There's a lot more tempo to this second half now from both teams.
Liam Rosenior's cast off his overcoat. He's in his jacket now. Still quite vociferous, still quite energised. The coach, more energy than his side was showing in the first half, I have to admit. But here's Sealt playing it back from the touchline to Patterson at the corner of the penalty area, passing it out to Ballard.
There's only 364 days till Christmas.
Closed down by Delap. Hume lifting it up through the middle, looking for Jobe's run, drops over the shoulder of Jones. Ingram lets it run back behind him, then has to twist and go down on the ball. Maybe went a little bit too past him for comfort. Out it's played to Seri. Seri in the middle of the Hull half. Taps it back to Greaves. Greaves across to Jones. Jones to Coyle. This is where to press, isn't it? But they get it down the wing to Delap. On halfway, Hume trying to push it forward and gets it to Clark.
That's what happens
Clark
when the ball.
trying to get it inside now to Aushish. Aushish back to Clark. Clark trying to go around Seri. Seri lets him go. Clark finds Roberts at the edge of the area. His shot blocked by Greaves. Bounces back out here. And Tufan trying to lay it off for Connolly. But it's Hume who gets it back to Ballard on halfway. Left of the centre circle. Back to Ballard. And then across to O'Nien. Into the whole half again. And played to Sealt on the touchline. Sealt back to O'Nien. Inside to Ekwa. Ekwa looking to try and get it through the gap for Aushish, and then down to Sealt, tries to cross, comes off the back of a defender. Jones heads it clear. Sheffield United 1, Luton 1. Aushish through to Roberts, to Ekwa, back to Roberts, and then to Ekwa again. Aushish is behind him, but Ekwa's gone on. Find Roberts, a little ball through to Ekwa, and a block made by Greaves. It's another corner.
Good play.
Much better from Sunderland. Huddersfield 2, Blackburn 0, 58th minute, Hull 0, Sunderland 0. But Sunderland knocking on the door. There's a bit more urgency about them, a bit more clinical. Can they be a bit more ruthless? Aushish with this 6th corner from the right-hand side in front of the Sunderland fans.
You just
driven in. And it dropped nearly for Ballard. He's still got.
You're just not going to get it. You're not going to get anything, are you? But yet again,
gets a shot in. It's crashed off. I think Sealt actually in the end, and hooked away by Coyle, right back up to Patterson in the middle of his half. And Patterson tapping it now to O'Nien. And they're going to make a change. Hull. They're going to make at least 2 changes as the ball comes out on the wing here
in the box
for Aushish to cross. It's going to be headed away by Coyle straight to Clark. On the left of the penalty area. Clark onto his right foot, looks up, and he's driven it right across now, almost at the corner flag for a goal kick. Burnley 2, Fulham 0. So the changes. Bournemouth 2, Fulham 0. It's so loud here, it's very difficult to hear the studio, but Connolly's coming off. And coming on is Jason Lakilo, the
Cyrus Christie's coming on.
The Congo. So Christie comes back on. He comes back into the team, having lost his place at the start of the game.
Time for a striker there. Defence is panicking.
Coyle, is it?
Yeah.
So Lakilo and Christie on then in the 60th minute. And it's the Sunderland fans you can hear loud and proud over in the corner. 0-0, an hour played. 2 changes then made by Hull City. And here's the first of one of them, Lakilo on the ball, trying to cut in past Neil. He twists and turns and gets it out to Morton on the right here. Morton back to Cyrus Christie, the Irish international.
Come on, can Sunderland get a winner? Can they get
to the goalkeeper, out to Greaves, back to the goalkeeper.
Still plenty time.
And Ingram drives this forwards down the right wing. Hume heads it away. Tapped inside by Clark, but straight to Seri. Opens up, there's Morton, or Tufan trying to find Delap, but he's just played it behind Delap, and it runs away from him and behind for a goal kick. So 0-0, 61st minute. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. And Patterson tapping the ball to Ballard to his left. Ballard back, well, he thought about it, but then Delap was there lurking. He plays out wide on the left to Hume. Hume swinging it across to the far side. It drops for Sealt. O'Nien getting it forwards to Sealt again, trying to flick it on for Aushish. Aushish, a stretch for Roberts, can't keep it in. Throw to Hull, just inside the Sunderland half. Back it goes to Greaves, into the middle to Jones. Greaves turned and looked to say something to the crowd on the far side, or the assistant, but play goes on. Hartlepool 1, Oldham 3. Here's Jobe winning it in the centre circle, but losing it to Delap. And Delap wheeling away on the left, laying it off now on that far side to Slater. who plays it back here to Greaves, inside his own half again, squares it to Coyle, to Jones, and out to Christie. And Christie down the line to Lokilo. Harrogate 1, Accrington 1. Lokilo swinging the ball over into the far side of the penalty area.
Thank you everybody
and,
for
then it's pulled
in.
back straight to Ashish by Twine. Now Sealt.
It does mean a lot. Thanks
pushing
for
it
support,
on,
guys.
And out to Roberts from Ekwa on the right hand side, inside to Ashish again, and Ashish inside to Ekwa. Seri in front of him, back out to Ashish back to O'Nien, just outside the Sunderland penalty area, across to Ballard here on the left hand side, and Ballard bringing this on up to halfway, out to Hume on the left hand side. Cardiff 2, Plymouth 2, looking for Clark, trying to shake off Christie into the penalty area, still going Clark, low shot, came off Jones, Slater could get caught, Ashish turns, claiming handball, but a goal kick. Now Sheesh is the only one in fairness appealing. But again, they're in there, but they just cannot get that final touch.
They're missing that striker, aren't they?
Yeah.
Jack in the box.
So 0-0, 63rd minute. Bringing it out from the back again, Hull City.
This is where you got to press. Don't let them play out from the back.
Here's
Take
Christie.
the passes out.
Christie on the right, back into the middle to Jones. Jones to Greaves. Closed down by Ashish, back to Jones in the centre. And then out to Christie. Lokilo wanted it down the right wing. It's down to Morton on halfway on the right. He plays it back to Jones in the middle. And Jones, as Liam Rosenior comes out, trying to whip up his team to show a bit more urgency again, but Ballard's won it in the centre circle from Delap. Clark's chasing on the shoulder of Jones down the left of the penalty area. There's some shirt tugging going on without question on the back of Clark. He goes down, the referee gives nothing. Here's Jobe on the left between the touchline and penalty area, trying to find a way through, plays it back behind him to Clark. Clark looks up, swings a ball in, headed away by Seri. And now back to Ballard to take in front of Delap. Plays it back to Hume. And Hume jogging back, kicks it back to Patterson in front of his penalty box. Out wide then to O'Nien. Swinging it through the middle, looking for Jobe. Gets his head on it, goes down, thought he was fouled, referee doesn't. And back to the goalkeeper. Rolled out to Christie. Christie closed down by Clark, plays it back to Jones, and then out to Greaves on that left side of midfield. Back to Jones in the centre again. Swings it down the right wing, looking for the
Sheffield United gone 2-1 up.
And around Hume, comes back with it and is being pushed out by Neil. Comes back to Jones, the goalkeeper. In pink, in the middle of his own half. Passing it on to Greaves at the back of the centre circle, now to Jones. And here's Christie. Sheffield United 2, Luton 1. Back to Christie. Inside then to Jones again. And back to Greaves on the left-hand side. Greaves looking for the run of Twine. Cut out though in the end. And O'Shea.
Thanks for the other 2 subscribers.
Straight to Delap. Gives it to Twine. Delap goes into the middle. Twine to the edge of the area is tackled brilliantly by O'Nien. Good strong tackle to get the ball out to Ekwa. And now Ekwa on the right hand side holding off Slater. Behind him is Ashish. Up to halfway, headed away by Jones. Out for a throw to Sunderland. 66th minute. Conversation between the coaches.
Do you bring Pritchard on?
All 4 coaches now involved in a conversation. Alessandro Barclini heads back with his tablet. O'Nien down the line. Roberts looking to run a Sealt. On his shoulder is Regan Slater. Sealt trying to take him on. Now looking up, plays it back into midfield. Ekwa urged to shoot. He's got Lokilo and Surrey in front of him. Comes back up for O'Nien to try and get the ball worked through to Ekwa, but he's lost it. Lokilo has it on this right-hand side, in his own half still, and he plays it back now to Christie. Christie skips through one challenge, foul by the second, Job, and Christie takes the free kick. Back to Jones.
Just crashed at my end there.
Greaves, 67th minute, 0-0 still. And now back to Jones again. And Jones to Christie. Christie back to Jones. In the middle of the whole City half. Pitch black around the stadium now. And here's Christie lifting it up, looking in front of Morton. Morton now swings the ball into the penalty area, comes down off Ballard. Delap's got it, trying to get round O'Nien. A block on the edge of the 6-yard box by Sealt, and Ballard gets it clear from the edge of the penalty area. And now Job trying to win it.
I don't know. I mean, I would take Job off. He's been quiet, hasn't he?
To Sunderland. Neil
don't lose
is under pressure, gets it back to Patterson. Patterson clears. And up to the halfway line.
I wouldn't take Clark and Roberts off because
Seri
they're
heads
two
it
live
down.
at the
Morton
minute.
plays it out to Lokilo on this right hand side. He is tackled by Hume, breaks for Clark. Clark now, as the Hull City defenders race back, Clark races on through the centres, going towards the right, rolls it in now here to Roberts, and he's blocked
got to
by the goalkeeper.
He's got to.
Hume was to his left.
Bloody hell.
Roberts decided to take the keeper on himself, and the keeper made the block at the edge of the 6-yard box. And now away goes Delap into the penalty area at the other end. Shoots a touch from Patterson.
Good
was
save. Did he save that, Patterson? He did.
I think he got a touch to it. It's a corner. It's Hull's first corner, end to end, in the 69th minute.
That's where Roberts lack. He's got to be ruthless.
Yeah. 6 yards.
Too nice.
And the corner has come back almost to the halfway line. And played on to Morton, out to Lokilo on this right-hand side. Trying to get it through down the right, blocked by Clark. And
this is where we can get men forward.
Trying to counter-attack, but it's broken up. Roberts' pass by Greaves. Played out to Slater, down to Twine on the left-hand side. Roberts getting back. Twine still has it, plays it into the middle. Let it run through.
There's nobody there. There's a huge gap in the middle, isn't there? Up front, there's nothing. Look at that gap in the middle there.
Up to Job.
Somebody needs to help him.
Wide on the right. Trying to... Well, he's doing this on his own. Nobody's prepared to race up and help him.
Jogging.
Southampton 3, Swansea 0. Out for a throw to Sunderland. Right-hand side, halfway inside. Pritchard, I think, is going to come on for Sunderland. Michael Beale just having a word with him.
Oh, sorry about that, Nightcore. Sorry, I'll watch what I'm doing. Chiefs for letting us know, though, mate. Chiefs for letting us know, Nightcore.
Throw drops to Al-Sheesh.
I'm a little bit slightly
on the touchline. Plays it back almost on the halfway line. O'Nien into the middle to Ballard.
Any problems, just let me know and I can sort them out.
To Hume, into Neil. Neil back out to Hume on the left on halfway. Forwards looking for Clark. Trying to get past Christie. Clark still going with it. Still taking on two. And now playing it back into the middle to Ekwa. Straight through to Al-Sheesh at the edge of the area. Comes back out to Neil. Neil for Al-Sheesh. Lovely back heel for Clark. They look for offside. It doesn't come. And it's put behind. It nearly went in.
Nobody's going to make a run.
Another corner to Sunderland.
You've got to pick somebody out.
Jones put it at the right side of his post. Al-Sheesh then with this corner.
Anytime,
down
mate,
on the left-hand side. Bit of movement in the box. Ekwa's jogging towards the goalkeeper.
Rotherham 1,
Al-Sheesh
Middlesbrough 0.
Places the ball. And it's driven in by him to the near post. Roberts trying to get on the end of it, couldn't. Comes back out to Al-Sheesh. Al-Sheesh taking on Christie. Al-Sheesh into the box. Low ball. It came off the foot, I think, of Ballard. A fumble by the keeper, but he grabbed it in the second attempt. 0-0 still, 71st minute. Pritchard to come on.
Who's he going to come on for? Roberts? Bellingham?
Hard to say.
Another subscriber. Thank you very, very much indeed.
Or he might even take Ekwa or...
I think I did wonder about Ekwa, but I thought Ekwa's come into the game a bit in the second half. Well, he's going to come on imminently. Here's Lokilo on this right-hand side, dribbling at Hume, but it breaks for Morton. Morton back into the middle to Seri, and then into the centre again. Regan Slater plays it back to Greaves, who whips it down to Twine on the left wing.
He must be ahead of the Luton game because it's 75 minutes on the clock and it's still 2-1 Sheffield United.
And comes back up into the
I've got it on Amazon Prime
centre circle. To Greaves, back to Jones on the centre spot, then to his right.
Amazon Prime. There's a
Christie down the right wing to Morton. Morton, he's got Clark in front of him. Clark forcing him back, but Morton turns him, comes away with the ball, still with his socks around his ankles. And now to Lokilo. Lokilo onto his left foot, chips it in towards the far post.
Great
and it's headed by Tufan away, off of him from Sealt for a corner. Rotherham 1, Middlesbrough 0. Pritchard still waiting to come on. Hull making sure there's one back. Christie, 3 around the penalty area, everyone else in the 6-yard box. And Morton is going across to take the corner on the left.
It is 2-2 Luton.
For Hull City. 4 players outside the penalty area.
When's he going to make the substitutions? That's what I want to see.
Headed away by Sealt. A chase back for Twine, who plays it back on the halfway line to Christie, and he just plays it to his right to Seri in the centre circle now, and he will play it across. Comes off Clark's head, little right foot instep touch from Liam Rosenior. Roberts is the man coming off.
It's the Mags currently, it's not John, it's Hull against Sunderland. Sunderland can't score on a brothel crap.
So Roberts off in the 74th minute. It's 0-0 live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Roberts, who could have scored himself moments ago. Christie on the halfway line. Why? He plays it inside to Jones. Now to Greaves. Greaves back into Jones. Pritchard in front of him. He chips it down the right wing.
It's one of these games where we're going up and scoring within 30 seconds. They're going up and scoring and equalise it.
Hull City on the right in front of Liam Rosenior. Back it comes to Christie. Christie then plays it into the centre to Jones. Jones closed down by Pritchard, plays it back to Ingram. Ingram, the keeper, to Jones. Jones back again to Matt Ingram. And Greaves wanting it.
Let him kick it long.
Yeah, just force him to kick long, which he does now. And it's going to drop for Sealt to nod back to Patterson. Tufan ahead. He rolls it out to Ballard. And Hull thinking about making another change. Sealt on the right. Back to O'Nien, back to Patterson. Pass to Ballard. Ballard out wide to Hume. Hume back to Ballard. Drives it on to Neil. Neil then out to Clark, trying to get it back to Neil, but
bit more of Hull
Jones
now
is
coming
there
into it
to turn it away, trying to get it to Lokilo. Drops for Morton. Morton twists away from Ekwa. Ekwa gets a foot to it, but it takes it on to Lokilo. Lokilo down the right of the penalty area and plays it across the back of the box. Jobe gets in the way, blocks it from Delap, and calmly takes it away and passes it out to Ekwa at the corner of the penalty area. Ekwa, behind him is Hume. Hume kicks, looking for Pritchard. Jones heads it on though. It's picked up by Christie. Played back on halfway to Greaves. And the keeper comes all the way out to the middle of his half. And just
look, we're just going to have to massively judge out the transfer window. What's going on?
Jones.
I mean, is it Parky?
76th minute, 0-0.
Is there so much you can do with what tools you've got in the box?
Lokilo back inside to Seri. On halfway, Slater on the centre spot. Behind him is Greaves, and then Slater gets it again. Pritchard trying to
so do you reckon
comes back to Jones, and Jones
out
to Christie.
Is
Closed down by Clark, who gets a touch to it.
Players
Throw
that
to Hull on this right-hand side.
Which we've done that.
Christie takes this in front of Michael Beale.
Look at Southampton, for example,
back to Alfie Jones.
I mean, what's the difference?
Jones now across to
Luton Town have now gone 3-2 up, and they were
0-0.
2-1 down just 5 minutes ago.
Greaves
what a turnaround by the Hatters.
Twine back to Slater. And then back again, Jones now drives it down the right wing to Lakilo. It comes back from him to the halfway line, the centre, to Alfie Jones. Jones to Lakilo. Lakilo again, looking here for Christie on the right-hand side. And he takes it inside, just flicks it to Morton, trying to get it back to Christie. Ran into Dan Neil, pushes it back out to Lakilo. Lakilo into the middle here. And Slater leaves it for Greaves. Greaves tackled by Sealt. Could open up here. Sealt now, he's got the runner on the right-hand side with Oshish. Sealt still going. Neil's calling for it in the middle. It's played straight to Christie.
Pass.
And back up to Ekwa. And then it's dropped off him for Seri. Seri right through the middle looking for Morton. Won again by Sunderland. Ekwa's got it, looking for Job here. Job gets it out well to the right wing. And Oshish looks up, swings it into the penalty area. Christie heads it away. And it's towards the corner of the penalty area. It drops for Job. Job closed down by Twine. And Job plays it back here to Ekwa. Ekwa in the middle, looks to play it across to Clark here at the edge of the area. Clark making a dash towards the D. Morton tackles him. The ball comes back though to Job. It's Sheffield United 2, Luton 3, and Hull win it back again. Corner of their own penalty area.
About model. The only model I want to see is a woman.
Ballard's on his shoulder, and he swings Delap to the floor. The ball goes out for a throw. Quickly taken by Lakilo. We're in the 78th minute here. 0-0 still. Christie's ball looking for the run of Twine. Comes back out to Tufan, to Morton at the edge of the area. Morton into the area on the right hand side. A slip by Hume, and it's just tipped over by Patterson.
I just think they might have just bring another sub on or something, one or two tight legs out there.
Yeah.
Nick in the middle of the park.
So another Hull corner, only their third. Just over 10 minutes left. Down to the right goes Tyler Morton.
2, 3 forwards, 3.5 forwards.
It's swung in, drops through the 6-yard box. Greaves header through the box. Delap on the far side. Ekwa's gone with him. Delap trying to get the ball back in his socks, down round his ankles now. The ball played in by Twine or Slater. It's Slater. It comes out to Ekwa, gets it out to Clark, who's over on the other side now as he tried to get it forwards, Pritchard, but it's won back by Christie. Now to Morton. Morton out wide to Lakilo. Lakilo on the right corner of the penalty area, trying to dribble into the box now. Plays it back to Morton to cross towards Tufan. Tufan now trying to find Lakilo again. Lakilo on his left, it curls round the post for a goal kick. Some tired legs out there now.
Tired legs
We've
out there.
certainly got the players to put this game to bed after
four substitutes who are warming up, Nick. 3 of them are forwards, well. 4, you can say 4 of them are forwards. As well.
Yeah. So, goal kick to Sunderland. 80th minute. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Liam Rosino puts his overcoat back on. Rosino puts his overcoat back on as Neil comes away with this into the Hull half. To Pritchard inside of him, back to Neil on the left. Neil back inside to Pritchard, out again to Clark on this left-hand side.
Nobody
Clark
in the box. Nobody in the box.
Inside, there's nobody in the penalty area. And Clark running into the middle. Joe's made a run into the box now. Just goes out to the right-hand side to Oshish. Oshish trying to get it on his left. A low ball played in straight at Greaves. And Greaves clears for Hull. Nobody up for Hull. O'Nien comes chasing back and taps it to Patterson, who leaves it again for O'Nien, on to Ballard, and Ballard
come on, man.
to Ekwa. Ekwa has cut out by Morton, but Ekwa gets it out. Ekwa's still going, and he's caught by
Lakilo.
It's left though for Clark. It ran to him, and now back behind him at the edge of the centre circle. It's Job. Job out right, wide, right to Sealt, back to Job. Job back again to O'Nien, just right of the centre circle, into the centre circle to Ballard, forwards down the left to Hume, and Hume just pausing for a moment with it inside the Hull half. In the middle is Ekwa. Ekwa looking for Pritchard. Pritchard trying to run it through now. Oh, sheesh! But straight at the keeper. Keeper comes out and smothers the ball.
Unlucky.
Great ball from Pritchard.
It was indeed.
Keeper came out well there, mind. He read that situation where
couldn't just get on the end
he
of it.
knew exactly what we were doing before we were doing it, that keeper. He was prepared for that.
To Seri. Seri leaves it for Slater, lifts it up over the top looking for Delap, but it's cleared by Sunderland up to Job in the centre circle. Flicks it through now to Dan Neil. Neil on the left, wide on the left is Clark. Watford 1, Bristol City 4. Clark still going into the penalty area. On his right.
Go! That's
Get in! Get in!
Finally got it.
Opens up for him on the left. He just drilled it in under Ingram, bottom right corner.
And that's the one you're looking for. He got that one right. Excellent. Got everything right there. He's cutting on his right.
Clark,
drilled it into the far corner.
Clark.
For the first time, it just opened up for him then. The gap appeared, and Clark made no mistake. Just drilled it low, beyond Ingram, into that bottom right-hand corner, and Sunderland take the lead. Now, they just have to keep hold of the lead.
They've got to manage it now.
They have to.
Now, what did I say to you? What did I say to you about? What did I say to you about, like, within seconds?
In the 82nd minute.
You see Hull get up and score. It's the type of game. I hope I am wrong. We need to keep switched on here.
And Jack Clark with his 11th of the season.
Tell you what, at times he's unplayable, isn't he? You know what he's going to do, but you can't do nothing about it.
No.
you know he was cutting on his right foot.
I mean, that's the thing with him. He can do that. Do that 10 times. 9 times he'll get blocked or a shot blocked. The 10th time he'll get the opportunity and score.
You know, he's trying to defend it. But again, his energy levels are fantastic. He just keeps going, and the fullback's thinking, he's coming again.
Get the subs on now, he says.
So 1-0.
He has done well.
Of course.
Clark, but I hope Sunderland just don't expect to get everybody back.
And they are on the ball in the centre circle. Comes back to Jones, out wide here now to Lakilo.
Cutting on his left.
He does, and he's come back to Christie just behind him. Plays it in the centre to Jones in the centre circle. Breeze through to Tufan, who's actually been very, very quiet in the second half. And out wide to Lakilo, back to Christie.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Switch on now. Switch on now. And we're going to control the game. Didn't give them the last
Christie, we're in the 85th
5 minutes.
And Christie back into the centre. Lakilo, or Seri to Slater, back to Seri, and now to Jones, looking to try and get Tufan on it, but Tufan plays it back to Jones, looking for Morton. It could break for Lakilo here at the corner of the penalty area, in the penalty box, trying to find a gap here, crosses it, and it's headed by Delap into the hands of Patterson. Catches it as it sails across the face of goal. Hull 0, Sunderland 1, 5 minutes or so to go.
Now this is going to test a little bit of the coaching skills of Bale. What's he going to do? Is he going to make any subs? Is he going to just stay as it is?
They're looking to make a change.
Let's see what he's going to do.
Harry Vaughan, 19-year-old midfielder, looks like he's about to come on for Hull. As Neil knocks it on to Job, to Pritchard, but he's just knocked it out on the far side. Throw to Hull City. And Slater is going to take this. It's going to go down the line with a longish throw, looking for Tufan, but it's hooked away by Sealt. Drops for Aushish, behind him is Neil, finds Job, go back in the middle, it's cut out though, push forwards to Delap, looking for the run of Lakilo here on the right wing, just keeps it in, and then flicks it back behind him to Christie. Hume goes to close him down, he plays it back to Jones. Jones through the gap here for Morton, twists away from Clark, opens up a bit of space, then pulls it back again, the low knee from Liverpool, and plays it back to Jones. Inside of him is Seri dribbling at Pritchard, plays it out wide here to Lakilo on the right hand side, and now he's trying to cross here looking for Tufan, headed away though by O'Nien. He has to do it again. O'Nien comes back out to Jones, closed down by Clark, played it to Slater, and out wide again to Lakilo right-hand side into Morton at the edge of the penalty area, trying to find Christie, who skips past Hume, pulls it back here, and it's tangled underneath feet of O'Nien. He gets it to Hume.
Come on, man, Sunderland, do it,
manages to get
back,
it clear.
for God's sake, what are you doing?
And back to Jones and Seri
It's all
again,
Hull
back to the
City at the
goalkeeper,
minute.
87th minute, Hull 0, Sunderland 1. And Jones again,
Yeah, well, let's
on
counter-attack and get a
halfway,
second.
on the right,
We're
down
capable
the
of doing it,
Morton's
aren't we?
little
Come on.
flick, back heel out to Lokilo. Lokilo dribbling across the back of the penalty area, onto his left, the block made by Hume. Job trying to get the ball away. Ashish chases it with Delap on his shoulder, out to the touchline on the far side. Ashish back to O'Nien, and O'Nien puts his foot through it, drills it up to the halfway line. Greaves heads it away from Pritchard. It drops to Seri. Seri's in the
He should
centre
get
circle,
booked there for kicking the
and
ball
he
away.
looks up again, trying to get it up towards Delap. Delap,
Offside,
Ekwa is
offside.
offside. Free kick. Delap kicks the ball
Is that Rory's
away.
brother?
He's shown a yellow card. Right in front of Sonny Single.
This Triantis or Rig?
Yeah, is that Riggs not on the bench today? That's Triantis, isn't it?
Yeah. They're going to make a double substitution as well, Hull.
They're also going to bring on...
Come on, Sunderland, let's
Traore.
get over the Christmas blues. Eh?
So Twine's coming off.
When do we play next? When do we play
Comes on
next?
for Twine.
Like,
Then we've got a very good record at the New York Stadium,
So
haven't
they've
we?
thrown on a midfield and an attacker, or two midfielders really. Southampton 5, Swansea 0, and
Oh, is that a bad thing or what?
who's coming off? Clark's coming off. Gateshead 1-1 with York. For Triantis in the 89th minute.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that for
To
next
try
time,
and
Mike, mate. I
shore
will
it up.
sort that out, fella. Cheers.
Depending on how much time we'll have added on. So Patterson with the free kick, Clark with the goal, of course. He's
Cheers,
off now.
Derek.
The ball picked up by Ingram, rolled out, and up through the middle. Seri with it out wide to Christie.
I don't think there's
Sunderland
much added on
leading
either.
1-0.
3
Here's
minutes, you
Lokilo.
think? 4 minutes?
He plays it back into the centre now. Don't forget the phone-in follows here on BBC Radio Newcastle as Pritchard gets the ball away over halfway. How have your thoughts changed since the weekend? Coventry 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. And it's rolled out to Greaves.
This is a lot better
to
performance
Dufan.
from Sunderland.
We're in the
though,
last
from
minute of the
Coventry game.
90.
You cannot argue
Here,
that.
Christie on the right-hand side plays it back to Jones. Jones to Seri. Seri back to Greaves. Into the centre circle again to Jones. As Michael Beale is trying to urge his players to push out. Again, waving them to push on, try and press.
If you want, you
Hull
can catch
out.
the all the highlights later
We
on,
are
the first 70 minutes.
Close to the 90th minute. How much time will be added on? Here's Morton. Swings the ball out wide on the left. Harrogate 2, Accrington 1.
Are you welcome,
Picked
Michael,
up
mate? Cheers
by
for the heads
Vaughan,
up, fella.
the substitute, taking on Sealt and trying to get round Ashish. Comes back to
Get up.
Greaves. 4 minutes. And now here, Christie
Any
again.
improvements,
Down the
just
right
let me know.
to the right side of the Sunderland penalty area, and it's headed back by Sealt to Patterson from Lokilo's cross. Patterson picks himself up. 30 seconds of the 4 minutes pretty much ticked away. Patterson just walking to the edge of his penalty area. There's a very tired Liam Delap standing out in front of him, everyone else up around the halfway line. The kick is a big one, high up towards Job, gets his head on it. It will come back though
3
to
minutes
Mattingham,
left though, we've
who
still
grabs
got to
it
be
at the edge
switched
of the
on.
whole penalty area. And just over 3 minutes left. Christie on the right hand side, Sunderland leading 1-0. It's played through by Jones to Seri. Job goes to close down Seri. Seri back to Jones, out to Christie on this right hand side. Back again to Jones from Christie, and Job goes to close him down. Jones plays it out to Christie. Pritchard goes to close him down. Then a ball played forward, cut out by Hume to Pritchard. Turns it into the path of Job if he can. But it's a tired-looking Job who's tracked back to try and get on the end of it. And it's Jones who's got it back to the goalkeeper. Played out through the centre to John Serry. He plays it to his left to Greaves. He's made him work for this. Down the line to Vaughan. Vaughan blocked by... No, he's not. He's gone round Stilt. Vaughan still going, the little midfielder down the left-hand side. Silt's got back with him, grabbed him and got the ball away here now to Al-Shish, who's trying to dig this out, but it's won back by Morton, and now Vaughan again on the left-hand side, who appears to be a bit of a live wire since he came on. And finally it's through to Greaves, and Greaves gets it into the penalty area, but O'Nien gets it clear. Nearly 2 minutes of the minimum 4 have been played. And the ball in the centre circle again with Christie. And
2 minutes to go. Can Sunderland hang on?
Seri here now to Traore. Traore trying to get forwards, but has to come back in midfield, the Mali international, and lay it off to Jones. Jones through to Tufan, the Turkey international. And now to Seri, the Ivory Coast international.
Stop the cross.
Crosses. Headed away by Ballard, away past Job, it'll come back to Jones.
I would take Bellingham off and put Mayanda on.
And now, here's Christie again. Christie driving it into the penalty area, looking for Vaughan, headed away by Sealt. Drops on the far side for Tufan. Tufan
much better considering he's still no striker. Clark is worth his weight in
goals. On this right side of the penalty area, the corner of the box. The overlap coming from Christie, it took a deflection off him. It's a throw to Sunderland.
You know,
nearly 3 minutes played.
Bellingham's flat out, isn't he?
Totally. I saw when he tried to chase that last ball, he just didn't have anything really left in the tank. Hume with his throw then on the left-hand side into the last minute of the 4.
So it's going to be Hull City finishing the last minute, trying to build attack to salvage something.
Al-Shish drives it at
30 seconds left.
And then it comes back into the centre circle to Greaves. Leaves it for Seri. Job goes to close him down, and now he has to chase Seri. Seri's still going, gets it through here to Delap, goes over the back of Triantis. It's a free kick to Hull City, 25 yards out.
Silly free kick that.
Triantis has shown a yellow card. Now they really do have to concentrate at this point.
They do indeed.
It's a central free kick. It's at least 24, 25 yards out. We're only seconds left of the minimum 4, and this is not inconceivably going to be Hull's last chance. Sunderland leading 1-0. Referees applied the spray just inside the penalty area. This is, if that wall is 17 yards out, the free kick must be 27 yards out. So it'll take a big effort, but if someone's got the power to lift it over the wall. Patterson looks fairly lonely at the moment on his own.
I'll get the big uns in the come right across.
Traore is going to take the free kick. Adama Traore with his left foot crashes into the wall. It's high in the air, comes back out here, and that's it.
Get it!
Full-time whistle is blown.
What a win!
Hull City have been defeated.
Rusty Mackham says
Michael
just because we've scored doesn't make this a better
Sunderland
performance. It's been
coach.
pathetic on us and they could still do it. No,
pedestrian first
it's
half,
full time.
a
It's
frenetic
full
second
time.
half, but Sunderland take all 3 points.
Take all 3 points, and that's what we were saying at half-time, Nick, that the game was there for them to be won, but they've got to up the tempo. You would have been disappointed if you would have come away from here with just a point.
Yeah, as you say, the game was there to be won. Just pushing a bit more ruthless, a bit more clinical. Roberts arguably should have scored, but in the end it was Jack Clark, that familiar run into the penalty area on the left-hand side.
That feels better, doesn't it, lads and lasses? Come on.
Just drilled it bottom right corner.
Yeah, great finish, and it's a typical Jack Clark goal. You know what he's going to do, but you can't do anything about it. You know, he's cut inside and he's just drilled it into the far corner, but fantastic win. But again, it's that old talking point. You cannot just continue relying on Jack Clark. That's 11 goals he scored this season.
It is. There is that. You're absolutely right. There is an over-reliance on him because they haven't got any other way of finding.
That's right.
Scoring goals.
but fantastic win. You know,
that is a
better performance.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic win. You can't put
a little bit more together today. You know, Echo was excellent in the middle of the park. He was right back to his old self
once again. We'll have to rely on Clark for the ball.
There's a lot of positives to come out of that game.
A lot more disciplined. They worked very, very hard in the second half as well. Job, I mean, I don't know how long he can keep going. 18 years old, he was out on his legs at the end.
He was running on empty. But again, it stands out a mile that you do need an out-and-out striker.
Yeah, yet again, the strikers on the bench, not one of them brought on this afternoon by Michael Beale. In the end, it was Jack Clark, dependable Jack Clark,
makes up the country loss,
got the only goal of the game. You can have your say now with Benno and Colin White on BBC Radio Newcastle. Text us for BBC at the front of your message, 81333. Call us 0800. I can't remember what the number is.
Michael, thanks mate. Enjoy the rest of your night. Brilliant. Well done lads, thanks for watching mate. Anytime mate, anytime, welcome anywhere. Oh, she looked like a big win, says Ed. Absolutely.
Sunderland players have gone over to thank the 1,700 or so Sunderland fans who are all still in the stadium. That's a big, big win for Michael Beale. It's a big, big win for Sunderland. And now they head up the end of the week to Rotherham, which will not be easy by any stretch of the imagination, but a few nerves calmed by that result this afternoon here at the MKM Stadium. 24,420 here this afternoon, and it's ended Hull City 0, Sunderland 1.
Look, somebody's starting to be negative straight away here. Papering over the cracks, give over man, will you? Good win, but the only bit of quality in 90 minutes was Clark's goal. Look, I disagree with that completely. Well done SAFC, good win in the end, plenty of effort, a much better performance than the Coventry game. Teams seem to have a bit more belief, there were a bit more togetherness and seem to know each other's positions than the Coventry game. I'm not a Beale's fan, greatest fan, but we have to give him a chance and we can't not say well done, we got the win today. Said it once and I'll say it again, without Jack Clark we are finished. My goodness me, we need a striker up front to take the pressure off him. He can't keep doing what he's doing. There we go. Very happy pizza time now, Derek. We just don't like playing down the New York Stadium, do we? We just don't like playing down there. I've got a good record. We did deserve that win. I didn't think Hull were a threat at all. No. Oh, bother. Well, I'm going to end my stream there, so we will say goodbye and enjoy the rest of your Boxing Day night, because I am. And doesn't your turkey, if you've got any left, it'll feel a little bit better tonight than what it did just before Christmas there. So thanks, good night, and we will catch you. More videos on the way. See you later.